Hey, welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast, episode 152. I'm Graham. I'm here with Luke and Cody. Richie is working second shift, and we have Tim Gibson on today. Wheels with Timmy Clark and the Rockaholics guys. He was at our Web Wheelers Ball. He's got a pretty sick, it's a Ford thing. Is it a Bronco?
No, it's a Ranger, isn't it?
I mean, it's like 1/8% of a Ranger.
No,
Okay,
it's still a Ford fucking Ranger.
Yeah, it ain't no stranger.
Yeah, Ford Ranger rooted vehicle. And to quote Luke, it fucks. It's pretty cool. Cody, take it away.
Wow, it started out fantastic, Graham. And this was the first
the cord for beef at this point.
and honestly, I'm impressed. This was the first last name you didn't absolutely destroy. So, round of applause for Graham there. That was just well done. But yeah, Tim, give us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get into wheeling? Who are you? And what you're about?
Well, I started wheeling probably going eight years ago, give or take. I'm terrible with time frames and shit. But started before the Rockaholics. That's where I kind of met Tim. Just had your typical shitbox Cherokees and started going
I thought
to.
we were fucking special, and we got someone that didn't own a Cherokee. God
Dude,
damn it!
I've had 7 Cherokees and 2 Comanches.
I knew about that. But
So yeah, we're all Cherokee people at heart.
Honestly.
Unless you like Toyotas, and then
That's
whatever.
a whole different problem.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah,
But
same tax bracket, different grouping.
I mean, is it the same tax bracket?
I was gonna say, I think they're a little
For
bit
a
more
rotted
expensive.
one.
Fair point.
There's a
I
lot
mean,
of rotted ones around here.
they're all junk.
Maybe one tax bracket up.
I mean, everything's rotted where I live. So, if it isn't brand new or not from here, it's just a pile of shit.
yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, you want a used vehicle? Don't even fire up Facebook Marketplace unless you know someone in Tennessee.
Hi, hey, how you doing?
Actually, my current Comanche, which we'll probably get to, is from Tennessee because I didn't want to buy anything from here.
That makes a lot of sense. So now, were you wheeling the Cherokees, or was this pre you actually getting into off-roading with them?
So it was wheeling the Cherokees, but your typical high school trespassing through the woods type of thing.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, so it started with that. Actually, if you want to start from the beginning of the off-road escapade, I had in high school. Oh yeah, high school. I bought an '85 Chevy on 38s. Just your typical.
Hell yeah, brother!
Yeah, your typical mud whomping, way too big. Some guy built a 355 for it. It had no rev limiter, ending it up, blowing it up, obviously. But it all started with that. And there was, in town, or where I grew up, there was a couple spots where adolescents, if you would, could go in the woods and have fires and do big mud bogs and all that shit that everyone frowns upon.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that that's frowned upon these days because there was so much fun and learning in that it's just kind of shitty that there's nowhere open and accessible to go do that.
Absolutely, because without that, I wouldn't be in this hobby. As a dumb 16-year-old kid, what else are you supposed to do? You work part-time, you have plenty of time you leave school. What else are you going to do? It's 2:00 in the afternoon. You take your trucks and your shitty Jeeps and you drive down to the boat launch and get them stuck in a river.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Richie's not here, but that's literally what got us into it is we started doing that kind of thing, and him and myself were 2 peas in a shithead pod. He had a Dodge Ram on 35s and I had a Cherokee on 35s, and that's enough to do it, you know what I mean?
Right. You find some muddy puddles and you find some hills that you are in the woods with some walking path. Actually, the best trails were the the cross country runners behind the middle school, they have the best trails to go wheeling.
It's really bad to think about the amount of stuff that happened, but like, yeah, I totally get that because we had the it was a U.S. Army conservation project, so like it was part of the dam system over by us, and they cut a ton of fire roads to get around this reservoir. It just so happened that off of those fire roads there was mud puddles, and there was a couple of really cool hiking trails that were cut suspiciously wide enough to get a like boom truck down them that just so happened to lead up to a couple of sick rock faces. And by sick, I'm not talking about actually sick. I'm talking about 16-year-old me being like, oh my god.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like
drive my Jeep up that.
yeah, like, you know, a nice little 30-degree slope, which is as tall as the Jeep is, of just flat granite. And it's like, okay, cool. My Jeep will drive right up this. I think a Honda Civic would drive up it, to be honest. But
Well, actually, Honda Civics drive over a lot. So, not to break from the story, I did have a yard Civic, I called it. Used it as a tractor for a while. And it actually took down, was it a 12 by 16 building with it? And I drove over the roof that fell with a Honda Civic.
all right, I've got more questions than answers, so I'm just gonna nod
I
my
would
head
assume
and
so.
go. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, Honda Civics are good at climbing things. That's really all you got to get out of the story.
I can work with that. That's
And-
simple
and-
enough that I can wrap my head around it.
Yeah, and chicken coops smell terrible, so you can't really do anything, especially when you don't want chickens yourself.
Yeah, I had to do a tear down of a house once, and there's a chicken coop out back. And honest to God, that is the worst smelling thing that I probably smell. And I've opened up septic tanks, and now that, on the other hand, is fucking horrible. So yeah, like chicken coops are just on a whole new level.
Right. And
So-
at the time, I just moved into the house, and it's like, oh, I have $14 in a Honda Civic. It's like, well, I want this building gone. I'm just gonna hook a chain to it and pull it down with a Civic.
And away you go.
Farm Civic.
Yeah.
On the note of bad smells, though, I will say that rotting cow is also up there.
Oof. Yeah, that's a fair point.
yeah, rotting flesh in general is gonna.
Yard
that's
Civic
not-
can get rid of it.
Yeah, that's
Yard
like,
Civic
drag
can
it
get
away.
rid of it.
Just
That
drag
might
it
just
away.
have to be the episode's name.
Yard Civic.
I'm sorry, Tim. I'm trying to
No,
be
that's fine.
serious, but that's funny as fuck.
yeah, because I bought the house when I was 23, so obviously we're all shitheads. So we had a yard Civic because my sister had it. She crashed it because the brake lines rotted off. She hit a truck. So I put a hood on it, like put some bullshit brake lines in it, and just did ronuts in my driveway, and used it as a tractor.
Did it have a hood before she ran into the truck, or?
Yeah, but like it wasn't a hood anymore.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. The hood got fucked up from the accident.
Yeah, she hit a fucking pickup truck with a Civic.
Well, I don't know. The way you made it sound was like, oh, it didn't have a hood, so I figured make it nicer while it sits in my yard.
No, I did the right thing. I went to Rock Auto and bought like a $55 hood.
That's amazing. We're in the
Non-painted.
wrong sport. It costs $50 to replace my mirrors.
Yeah,
You can
no,
buy a whole.
this is terribly expensive hobby.
Yeah, like, and it attracts the worst type of people too, because like they end up just rationalizing away the fact that they are spending a shitload of money.
Yeah,
It's truly like fascinating. I'm sitting here like, oh yeah, it's not that bad. I'm looking at like $1,300 in hydro. Add in the radial dynamics stuff, and we're at like
Well, then it's
$1,800.
$1,300. No, then it's $1,300 just for the reservoir. Come on now.
Yeah. So like that's
But
not
you
that
only-
bad.
but you only have to buy it once until you wreck your shit, and then you have to buy it all over again.
Uh huh.
Yeah, so you only have to buy it once.
Yeah, and just drive like you have a brain, which
Right.
we all know I have autism, so I don't have a brain.
I was
So
gonna say,
that thing's fucked.
I was gonna say, do you know how to do that? Is that an option for you?
It's the circuitry was lost. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And then it's like, oh hey, coilovers are cool. How much is it
Yeah.
going to be for a set of them?
Too much.
And then
No.
and then you got to put springs on them.
Yep. And like you would think that the springs would be cheaper than Cherokee springs, and you would be wrong.
No, I definitely would assume they'd be more expensive than Cherokee Springs. Those things are
Well-
just like pulled out of the gutter and like smashed together. It was like, oh, here you go. Figure it out.
I was talking about bougie springs like my Claytons, which
No,
I got
no.
secondhand. But that's fine.
So speaking of poor financial decisions, how did you go from shitbox Cherokees and Manchies to then now 1/8 of a Ranger?
Well, so you have to cycle through like a lifetime of Cherokees, and you have to put tons under at least two of them, and
Yep.
then you have to
It checks
realize, then you have to realize, well, we're running out of Cherokees. The world, they've made I don't know how many million, 4 million Cherokees, and for some reason there's only like a handful left.
Yeah, they're all $1 million for shit boxes.
Right. It's like Cherokees. I think my most expensive Cherokee I bought was $750.
Oof, you got me beat.
Yeah. So I had multiple that were like, my white one that I had that Tim Clark remembers. It was like a 97 up. I think it was a 2000. But it was clean. I worked at a shop at the time, failed inspection, and the little old lady didn't want to fix it. I bought it for $50, and
I mean, that's a win.
it was one of the cleanest Cherokees around. It just needed like front end stuff, and she's like, "No, I don't want to fix it. It's too old." Okay, but then that's the one that all cut up. I rolled it with half a cage because I make bad decisions, and the front got kind of like fucked up and rolled over and bent the frame, and like, okay, so I had to throw that one away. And at that time, that's the one I cut up to really do the buggy, or I guess it's a truggy, but it's mostly a buggy.
It's a buggy.
Yeah,
You
well,
drive it like a buggy. We'll give you credit.
it started life as a at the time Bro Truck was real because I've been building that thing for 5 years because of terrible financial decisions all around.
I love it.
So I finally got like a decent job that pays me more than like sandwich money, and so I figured I'd finally finish it. And that was only in the past 2 years. So this year, as you guys saw it, was the first year I've had that out with actual tires on it. So it's like a pretty fresh thing for me.
I mean, those tires are fresh as fuck.
Yeah, those are new as of like the spring.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So, like, tell us that you're bougie without telling us that you're bougie because you're rolling around on Treps, like new Treps, and you didn't win them in a raffle.
I didn't. I bought them with actual dollars.
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But
Aren't
they
they-
work and I like them.
I was just about to say, I mean, are you happy with your decision? You didn't go with like the boring red labels?
Well, yeah, because I want to drive more than a half a mile an hour.
I mean, I respect it, and you're not wrong.
You can drive
Yeah.
more than half a mile an hour, but they'll be flat by the time you get where you're going.
Yeah, no, like reds are great, and like they're just not for that rig. Mine's too heavy. It's too long. It's too awkward. It's not going to do like the really technical red type wheeling, and that's not what I built it for. So
I respect it. Any reason for not going with the SXs if you're in that tax bracket?
GoForth didn't have them in stock.
I can also respect that answer. It's a perfectly
That's a-
valid answer.
Solid
Call 'em
answer
up.
to me.
Well, because he posted, "Hey, I got a shipment of SXs." So I called him the next day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they're all gone." I'm like, "Okay, well I need tires, so what do you have?" He's like, "Well, I have 42 traps." I'm like, "Okay, send them on the pallet."
And they showed up, and they were
And
mint.
they showed up. Right, but it's a different tax bracket because I only bought 4 instead of 5, so I'm not that bougie.
I mean, you're still pretty bougie because like 2 of your tires cost what all 4 on my rig cost.
And actually, I looked at those tires, but I don't. They don't make them a 42, right?
They are talking about it from what I understand. Now, keep in mind, this is what I understand. This is not gospel for all of the listeners. I heard rumors that there is going to be a 42, but I also heard it might be for 20s.
Which
Makes
makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, and after being on the 7 teams this year, like I can see why 20s are a thing. Not that I've pinched a sidewall or anything, folding them over because I run it's like 9, 10 psi, so they don't really fold into each other. But I can see the need for 20s if you want to run lower pressure in them.
I can get down with that. I was running 12 all weekend and or 15 in the fronts and 12 in the rear and I had no complaints.
Pretty high.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
really high.
Jeez, I mean, if it keeps you from popping a bead, then I guess fuck it, right?
There is one thing that can be said. I didn't pop a bead and they still all have air in them with how mangled those beads are. Anyways, so like you've got the bro light, right? It was originally going to be a bro light.
Right. It was originally going to be a bro light because that's like it was relevant at that time, unlike now. And then
That kind of hurts me a little bit.
I would love for that to actually happen. I would definitely just stop what I'm doing and build a bro light truck.
Yeah, that looked like some of the most fun that you could have with like
What is bro
4
light?
wheels.
You guys don't know what bro light is?
No, because I'm dumb. Can you please educate me,
young.
sir?
You're
That's a
not
fair point.
dumb. You're just
Yeah, I
young.
guess.
That's arguable. I'm still dumb. I'm just definitely am younger. Yes.
So it's. I think Katrini was very involved in it, and it's you take a stock Ranger, and it was a certain year. I think it was with the like when they used to have I beams on the front, and you have to put a cage in it and like safety stuff like harnesses and the seat and window nets and all that stuff, and you race it like short course kind of racing.
They
Oh,
would
shit.
take over like MX tracks and shit like that, and they would just go hoon.
Fuck yeah, that sounds like a ton of fun.
Right, it's
Yeah.
like minimal investment. Like, of course, people were out there like putting coilovers and like bypasses on the leaf springs and shit like that. But still, for a racing circuit, I don't think you get more budget.
I would
That's
agree with
fucking
that.
awesome.
Yeah,
It
'cause
was
side by sides are $1 million, especially if you want to go race them.
Yeah, we talked to a guy, Tyler Herlock, who does that like on the larger scenes out there. They just drop money, and like we've been following him since then. He's gone through like 2 cars since we talked to him.
Yeah, it's insane.
I don't know how you can do that.
But,
I guess
I mean,
money.
Money.
Yeah, money.
Money and dedication is all you need, I guess.
I mean, you can do anything in life that you want as long as you have enough money.
This is technically true.
It is literally the only thing stopping anyone from doing anything that they want.
I mean, there's a few things I could think of
I
that
would
money
say-
might not.
What do you want to do that money won't help you get to it?
I think if I talk about it, then it's legally out there. And like, I don't think. I don't,
Fair enough.
yeah, and then I'm incriminating myself. I can't be doing that now. But
No.
I mean, yeah, most
You
things
know-
are just legal or illegal with a fee. That's 99% of
Like,
most things.
literally anything. Like even like terrible things. People get like you just pay your millions of dollars and you're fine.
You ain't wrong. So now, so originally it was supposed to be a bro light, and then you decided to just start chopping things off of it with a sawzall.
I mean, basically. So I kind of want to be a cab truck type of buggy truggy thing, and then this is obviously my first chassis. So I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I'm just like cutting and welding and bending and like, oh, this looks fine. This looks good. I have this idea, and then it's just like, well, this is all stupid. I'm just gonna cut everything out
I love it.
it wasn't turning out to what I originally set out to be, because it took me so damn long to build it because I had $0. So it's just like, okay, well, it's been 3 months since I looked at this, and I hate everything, and I want to go in a different direction. So it's like, all right, well, the sawzall's still warm in the corner. Let me fire that thing back on.
Start chopping shit.
Yeah, like it was supposed to have like doors and shit, and like most of a cab, and like it doesn't. It has like the front firewall and like the rear firewall below the window.
So
And that,
like kind of like what Ioshawa's was when it had a full cab, or
I mean, not even.
okay.
Like it is literally just the front firewall and the rear firewall.
I think he meant like when you were first building it. Is that kind of like what you were going for?
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much like a full cab, but still like mostly a buggy.
Makes
Like
sense.
it was always gonna have like an LS and all that stuff, but I wanted to be like, oh, that looks like a Ford Ranger, not like, oh, that's a buggy. And why is there sheet metal like in weird places?
I mean, it was definitely something to hear it coming up the trail.
Oh, it sounded so good.
It doesn't
Yeah.
sound good because like in it sounds terrible.
Yeah, you're great. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Sounds like a it sounds like a mildly done up LS coming up trail with a shitty exhaust. So beautiful by our standards.
Yeah, so it is a bone stock 5.3, and it has a shitty exhaust that leaks and has two mufflers on it because I'm old now, and I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, loud is bad now when you get old, huh?
Yeah, it's terrible.
I'm not gonna disagree.
It's wild. Like I've never had mufflers on anything I've owned. Like anything. Like, oh, I bought this. Like, okay, well, the muffler's on the ground. Perfect. And
How did that happen?
it's like, oh no, what happened? Instead of cutting the cats out, someone took the muffler out. Like, I don't know. Oh, and yeah. So it's like you buy a used shit box, because I've really never bought anything new, nice, or anything like that, except last year, but we'll get to that. And so it's like, oh, I got this shit box. It runs, I drove it, out comes the cat, out comes the muffler, and just like, I found this pipe on the side of the road, was welded in.
Mint.
And that's how I lived my life until I got in my 30s. And then last year, 2 years ago, I bought a brand new GMC Canyon. And I had it for a year, and I hated every minute of it. So I sold it last year. So I went from, because it was too nice. I didn't want to take care of it. Well, you know that feeling when you drive up into a parking lot with a $500 shit box. You just leave the keys in it. You park it wherever you want, and like it doesn't matter
Yep.
because it has no inherent value. Like you can come out, you go grocery shopping, and your shitbox Cherokee's just gone. Okay,
Well,
and then like
Can
that's
I
it.
please get a ride home?
Right, and then you call your buddy, and he comes fix you up, and like that's it. But like with an actual adult automobile that costs 40 grand, like you don't want it to be missing when you get there. You don't want a shopping cart go down the side of it. It's like this is stupid. And it's like, yeah. So I sold it, and I bought a Comanche out of Tennessee that lasted probably about 3 months until I got pulled over with a broken windshield, and just it wasn't good. And the cop lady was giving me a very hard time about it. So that came in the garage and is now basically just a shell of what it used to be.
But does it have a fixed windshield?
It has no windshield in it now because it was broken, so I had to take it out anyway. But I'm doing the whole interior swap, since it's way easier to work on without a windshield.
Mhm.
So how did you remove the windshield in it? The old foot method? Asking
no.
for a friend.
So you know those like I don't know what to call it. It's like a multi-tool, I think. So
The
I'm terrible.
oscillating tool. The oscillating
Yeah.
tool.
So
Yeah.
like, I have friends that like do like he owns a business and does windshields for a living. Well, and part of his living, and it's like, well, that's inconvenient. I'll just buzz this out, and it works. It's not like the fastest thing,
No,
but it will get a
definitely.
windshield out.
I mean, I mean, it definitely would because you just gotta get through the rubber and then just keep working your way around it for sure.
Yeah, it's just urethane. Like you can just cut it. But like that shitty windshield remover thing that you buy at Harbor Freight, that's just like a blade on a stick. You're just asking to impale yourself in the odor.
Oh no,
You guys know what I'm talking about?
I have never used it, so no.
Okay, well, just don't. Like you're saving yourself like a trip to the hospital.
Oh shit! All right, good to know.
Don't they
Speaking from
use- don't the-
personal experience?
I have one, and because I was like, oh, I gotta take a windshield out, and I used it, and I'm like, no, I put it. Nope, I'm not doing this because. And I was like, I can just see this because you have to pull it with one hand. It has like a string and a knob, and you pull it, and it's not quite sharp enough to like do what you need to do. So you put way too much effort in. You're like, I'm pulling this right in through my like whatever veins I have in my arm. It's just gonna be toasted.
Excellent. Great. Love it.
Yeah. So don't use
So if
that.
you're gonna
Are you talking about like the wire, the fine wire that the
No,
use?
that works.
Yes. Okay.
So it's like a stick with a 90-degree knife on it, and it
Oh, that's
has like
horrifying.
a tether with like a ball at the end that you use to pull with your other hand.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't look scary until you're using it, and you're like, this is scary.
Okay.
Sounds like a beheading tool.
So essentially what I'm gathering is that the $50 to get my windshield pulled is going to be worth it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Or you could call me with the oscillating tool. I have one ready to go.
Yeah, by the time that I pay to get that tool down here and back to you even, I've spent $45 and I had to do work.
See,
Yeah,
sometimes I forget that you do not live close anymore. So, like, yeah, that's a fair point.
Right? Like, if I want to borrow the tool, it's going to be a week till I have it, and then it's going to be more time to ship it back. And then after I've shipped it back and to me, yeah, it's just cheaper to pay the idiot.
Yeah, I only had one because I redid my. Well, I didn't redo it. I took apart my house, and I'm not qualified to do that. And all the baseboards I wanted to replace, but they were all under they floored up to them, so I
Yep.
couldn't take them out. So I had to go around my whole house with that stupid tool and buzz them and create sawdust and terribleness for like a week.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
no.
does not sound fun.
Houses are stupid. And then I had to call Tim Clark's dad because I'm an idiot and don't know how to do things with houses because they're different than cars and you can't work on them like you do a car. And so
Oh,
he had to help
I've
me.
been doing it all wrong then. It's
Yeah, you're going to
no,
have to
like,
elaborate on that because I'm scared now.
you can't just hold, like, if you're putting, like, I had to reframe my bathroom because I wanted to move a closet. Like, you have to leave room for the wood that's not perfect. Like, it's not
Yes.
steel. You can't just hold it and tack it. Like, it has to fit, but you can't be too tight or you're not getting it in. Like, it's wild. So, like, I measured everything, cut it like I was building something out of metal, and it didn't fit in the hole because it's not straight.
Mm.
Because it's made out of wood.
Next time, call me. I got you, buddy. I do this for a living. I'll figure it out for you.
Yeah, no. So yeah, houses to me and just wood in general is
How
like
can you
just-
build something that's even remotely square if the pieces are not straight?
Don't
So
go
that's the
look at
thing.
the wood at Home Depot.
Yeah, you first
houses
is
are not square.
yeah, no.
That's so
But-
stupid.
And
I
my
don't
house
like
is
that.
old. My house was built in 1956, so it's like square. It's like never heard of.
Well, not just that. How about the fact that like the ground's probably settled underneath it too?
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, like there's an addition on my house. I found out like the entrance door was never there. It used to be where my refrigerator is. Like it is. So many people have had a dick in this house.
So it's
Oh,
like a rhombus or a trapezoid.
Yeah,
There's
like
no
I replaced
squares.
my bedroom door frame is an inch off from left to right, over 30 inches.
What the hell?
yeah,
That's
Yeah, so
amazing.
I got a new door and I put it in. I'm like, well, I can almost get in through this crack, and it hits on this side. I'm like, okay, like why is this like this? Like, why can't you just put a square on it?
Like,
Who
it's
approved of this plan?
Yeah, and then I've had like I think Tim came in to do like the heat, and he's like, "What holds the front of your house together?" Like, what do you mean? He's like, "It's just a big window. There's no what holds your front of your house together." I'm like, oh, I never even thought of that. He's like, "Yeah, there's no structure. There's nothing here." Oh,
That's cool.
all right, that's cool. Well, it hasn't fallen off yet, so
so usually with windows, they do 3 to 4 2x4s squished together, and they're load-bearing beams. It's usually what it is, just to make you feel a little bit better about yourself.
yeah, no, but like the whole front of my house is there's two huge ass windows and like a door in between them. Like there's like I think you can count like 6 2x4s in the whole front of my house.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, like it's just window. That's what he's like. This is what holds the front of your house together.
That's
Oh
amazing.
no!
You already answered your question. 6 2x4s.
Yeah,
Oh,
Nice,
exactly.
Ron. Yeah, that's enough.
Jesus Christ!
But
Hopefully they're like original, like rough cut lumber, so they're a little bit thicker.
it's not that old.
Oh dang it! That's not good. That means they're flimsy.
Yeah, I mean it's still like the picture that you see online. It's like old wood and it has like 1,000 rings on it. It's like new wood. It has 6. Like
Yeah.
it's probably like that type of old, but it's not like some guy out back didn't saw it like by hand.
That's fair.
Gotcha.
So
Now-
like, at least your buggy is built more solid than the house is.
Yeah, because like you could. Well, I mean, don't
You got
look at
squares in your
closely.
buggy? Or is it rhombuses?
I mean, it's rhombuses.
Hopefully triangles.
Lots of nodes.
Hopefully
Yeah,
triangles.
lots of nodes. It's strong. I mean, I wouldn't say it's square.
It's chunky.
It's strong. It weighs way too much.
What's that bad Larry weighing in at?
It's probably
49.
close. Yeah, it's like 49.
Yeah.
5. Yeah, it's
Ah,
heavy.
that's not that heavy. Don't make my
That's-
Jeep feel bad.
You're fat
That's
shaming
wicked
Luke.
heavy.
My Jeep's
I-
5,500 pounds, and you've
Yeah,
seen
no.
that thing.
That's way too many.
I can't
Too
help
many.
it. It's chunky. It's
Yeah,
big
like-
boned.
Mine is too, and I don't know where I can. I want to take 500 pounds off of it, and I don't know where I'm going to do it.
The driver. Usually, when the driver goes on a diet, it's a really good way to lose some weight in the rig.
I'm not that.
Exactly.
Emaciate yourself to get
Just-
the rig weight down.
Just evaporate. It's
Just
better if you're
evaporate.
just not just remote control. It'll do way better.
Oh, you want to be an actual human that can do things? Yeah, it's too
No, that's too much weight.
much. You want to be able to actually do your job at work? Like,
No, I can't be doing that.
No, like you have to be like questioning whether or not you're like the health awareness poster for bulimia and anorexia. That's the ideal form to get a light rig.
Well, let me
Yeah.
tell you, boys, I am not that. In case you were wondering.
And
When
that's
you're-
why your rig hasn't moved in years.
God dang. So I gotta
when you
figure
have
out.
to eat ice cube sandwiches for lunch.
You can afford the
Your
bread.
diet now.
This guy's-
being fucking terrible this episode. I'm sorry, Tim. We're not normally this bad, but
Well, no, this is what it's about. It's just a bunch of people talking shit and like have no direction. It's like I'm not
So
that interesting.
So he's
I
listening
don't know.
before.
I'd
Is what
say
he's
you're
saying.
I would say you were pretty interesting. You were solid to hold a conversation with when you
Yeah.
weren't like failing to get up the simple ledges.
Oh,
And I want to be there all weekend, not one day.
Hey, you know what? In all honesty, I completely respect it because I did the exact same shit, and
This-
you walked up the majority of the cool shit. So
this guy's
Yeah.
union wheeling over here. He's like, I wheel for tomorrow, not today.
Hey, I'm in local 4, buddy.
Oh, he is a union guy. I fucking knew it.
Yes, sir.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Well, no, it's the first real year with it. So, like, next year will be different. I just wanted to get 1 year with it where I didn't have to put thousands of dollars back into it to go out the next weekend.
yeah.
So, like, after this year, it'll probably be a little bit more reckless. And I had to, like, figure out the rig. I'm not just going to do what Tim Clark does and show up 14 seconds later upside down with a blown tire.
That is.
He
This
did
is
that. Where the hell were we? We were down in Mass somewhere with I forget even where we were. He was running 6 hours late, like usual, and we're all like the last trail. We're all like ready to pack up, go home. It's been a day. Tim rips in like nothing happened. Hits the first obstacle. Fucking barrel rolls the thing and blows out a tire.
That
He was-
is so fucking on point.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, that sucks. I'm like, bro, like we're all leaving. Like you just okay, like we'll help you.
The fucking him just walking up Rubicon, like, hey guys,
So
my
going through
rig's
the bushes.
Yeah. But that was
and
that was like days after. This was literally he drove in, unloaded, drove to where we were. I don't even think he stopped to say hi to everyone. Went up the obstacle, barrel rolled, blew a tire out. Like it wasn't.
amazing.
Nothing was even like up the temp. Wasn't even a question.
Did he like at least have the spare? Because he's got the stupid spare on that rig. So
Yeah, he had the spare that was flat,
Oh no.
and the spare is hard to get out because it loses air. And I don't know. You've seen his spare tire holder. Like it just
fucking dying.
it pile drives itself in, and it locks itself. You don't need a strap on it. Like it's just there.
That's hilarious. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like a hoop. And every time he rolls it, which is every time he uses it, he lands on it and it shoves the tire deeper and deeper into the basket, and that's it.
I'm sorry, I'm fucking dying over here because that is so on brand. It's not funny. Like, just the whole picture, like between that happening and like I'm sure that there was some audio sensory thing that sent him through a fucking loop. Like, I can't have ATF on my hands. I need to go and wipe this off with leaves. I can't touch a Mickey Sticky with my hands. I now need to go and rub them on the tube before I can go and fix the rig. Air pump?
Yeah.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, no, I didn't know he had like the like I don't what is it? It's not auditory.
Audio
like
sensory.
yeah, like until like recent. Like he's always been obviously like very particular about things, but so I seen him freaking out over having ATF and like sticks and mud on his hands. I'm like, oh, all right,
This is a new character development.
yeah, like, all right, we'll get you some leaves, bud. Calm down.
Dude, so we
Like,
hopped in the trash can from that little endeavor. Alright, I suppose we have to explain this real quick just to catch everyone back up, but he blew his transmission apart. We didn't know it at the time.
it wasn't apart. He popped a freeze plug out.
He cracked it, I thought.
No,
That was the info that I had.
Yeah, he said he cracked it.
Well, that's news to me because I'm pretty sure I've seen it since then.
Maybe
False
he didn't
diagnosis.
crack it that bad.
Not
I don't
cracked.
know.
Just leaves.
He may
Anyways,
have.
so he blows the freeze plug out and whatever. He hops in the rig and he's like, I'm hot. I'm fucking sweaty. My mullet's fucked up. This is fucked. Like he's fumbling around with the harnesses. And he's like, just hang on, give me a second. And then he like snaps the harnesses on and he's like, I'm not going anywhere without the harnesses. Cause like, I don't know, fucking Timmy fucking being Timmy, and he's like, wait, my fucking shirt's sticking to me, and your fuel pump's too fucking loud. This is fucked. Alright, let's
Dude, that
use you as the
fuel
fucking
is
parts wagon.
insane.
It's
I
great.
don't know how you do it.
You know,
Like my head hurts just thinking about listening to that because I had a fuel pump that made a similar sound. And
okay, so
brother.
I'll describe it like this, right? It was I'm just happy to be there at this point. That's a problem that will get fixed. And I admit at this point that it is a problem.
okay, at
But-
least I mean that's the first step.
But I'm just happy to be there. And I'm happy to know that my fuel pump is actually working compared to the countless Cherokee and LJ ones that I've destroyed.
I guess you have a point. You know it's working because you can hear it.
Oh, he
So,
can
like,
definitely hear it.
You can hear it
It's-
from 3 towns over.
It's terrible. But
I
like
think it's worse than like a '98 Chevy. Like those things you could hear inside your house.
I don't think I've ever driven one, so I can't make a
You
comment
haven't?
on that. No.
If you have the opportunity, just take a listen.
Just turn the fuel pump on and hear the
I'm
sounds.
pretty sure it
Yeah.
is. It's the same style of fuel pump. It's an
LS just I went crazy with it. It's a 120 psi pump into a 58 psi system.
Yeah, it's a stock LS pump. So it's probably
It's a
it's
performance
probably that
LS pump.
Yeah, I'm gonna say stock pump isn't.
But yes, I am researching getting a factory pump that is the exact same with the AN fittings. So hopefully it'll be quieter, or putting it into a sock or something to shut it up. But like
I
for
would
now,
not- I don't.
I heat up.
I don't know if a sock's gonna help you with the noise.
listen,
'cause
man, I'm
it's-
just happy to
it's-
be there.
It's external, right? It's not even in the tank.
Yeah, it's external.
Yeah, so nothing factory came with an external pump. I don't know what you're.
No, but it could-
Ford did. A lot of
It's
different
something.
vehicles did.
It looks like a factory component. It doesn't look like a. Maybe that's the. No, you know what it is. The pump isn't factory. The fuel return portion of that is factory. For
Yeah,
some
it is.
vehicle.
And I'm looking at putting a Mustang pump on it because some of the Mustangs used
Mustang.
external pumps, and they were
For
supposed
Sean,
to push.
I just found I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I forget what it was at this point, but I just used just a standard aftermarket pump, and it feeds at the
Yeah.
right fuel pressure.
Like a Walboro 044 or whatever it is.
No, it's not one of those. We'd had a bunch of issues at the shop that me and my buddy ran in Beverly. With, I don't know specifically that one, but we had issues with a bunch of pumps because they kept sucking up random. There was some RTV and some fuel that was getting passed around, and we were ruining lots of fuel pumps because like RTV snakes would get sucked up into the pump and just sit there, and then it would just blow everything up. And we were wondering why it wasn't pumping fuel or the pump wasn't working right. It's because it was clogged with RTV.
Shocking how that works.
How many pumps did you go through before you even thought about putting a filter in front of it?
Well, it was with a filter. It was. We did put filters in front of them after that, but it was one pump in particular that had it, and then it got in. The RTV was in. It was when we were working on Sean's rig, I think mainly. We don't know how it got there. Oh no, the Bronco was sort of involved in this too, and I think the RTV somehow was in the Bronco tank. We didn't touch the Bronco tank. We just put it in. It was a brand new tank. Like nothing should have been in any of this fuel system. It was all new, and somehow there was massive amounts of RTV in it from somewhere. and then those pumps got sort of put on a shelf because at that point we didn't know it was RTV, and and then Sean's got it, and then there was RTV in Sean's tank, so we had to get that all out. There was RTV in his fuel rail when he pulled that.
wow.
It was just a mess for a long time. But
How many tubes of RTV was used in this process?
I don't know. There wasn't a lot, but it was just one of those things where when you have an RTV snake that gets sucked up by a fuel pump, and then it's in a million pieces, it clogs filters, it clogs fuel injectors, and it goes everywhere, and it's very difficult to remove.
You know what? I'm gonna have to put this in the fucking notes right now. Like, give me
Put-
1 second here, because
Filter before fill pumps.
Always, because you never know what's in tanks, and I never would have expected RTV to be in one, but somebody must have like RTV'd the top of a tank on at some point, and it fell in and it got sucked up. I don't know. It was we to this day don't know where it came from. And the worst part is it was because it all stemmed from this Bronco, right? My buddy Jacob was like doing all this work on this thing, and we couldn't figure out why it was running like garbage. Obviously, at this point, we know it's fuel. So he's
RTV.
pulling. I remember, or his RTV, the fuel pump. So he's pulling the pump out. I remember because we had just put a brand new pump in, and it was running amazing, and then it just stopped running well at all. Like it just wasn't running. Like it was the same thing. It was back to not running great. So he pulls that pump out. Goes to like the feed side where it's pulling fuel from, and pulls out, I kid you not, probably like 5 inches of RTV from this brand new pump. It was just so bad. So yeah, keep RTV away from your fuel systems.
Who would have thought?
I don't know how that has anything to do with Walbro pumps, but I don't know. It's just trauma. RTV fuel pump trauma.
Yeah, PTSD. It's okay. We all have it.
Use protection.
But not RTV.
Yeah, not RTV. That's not protection. That's like
Someone probably makes a gasket for whatever was RTV.
yeah, it's 1 letter away from STD, so you know it's like STDs for fuel pumps. You don't want to be trading that around.
Really, I would have never guessed.
There's no pill to fix that one either.
Dang it!
That one sticks with you for life.
Yep. So RTV is apparently the STDs of fuel pumps. Mint.
Yes.
Noted.
Look, you've gone through like 8 different engine options you're putting in a Cherokee. Like, what? Do you actually know what you're doing, or is this all for like the podcast so people have something to talk about?
At this point, he's just going to put a steam engine in it and power it with wood.
You want the honest answer? I'll give you the honest answer. I really wanted to do the 5.0. The 5.0 it's been one of those things where I've always wanted a 5.0 Cherokee. And then I became much more poor, much more rapidly, because the overtime kind of slowed down. And so I'm sticking with either a 4-liter or an LS, because I can put an LS in for a hell of a lot less than the cost of a Terminator. Due to the fact that the nose is coming off, or might not be. I don't know, but that's a off-air discussion.
It's a moving target, and you have a dart, but you don't know where it's going to land one day to the next.
Yes, basically, long story short is there are enough other problems with my rig at this point that with the amount of money that I have available to fix everything, because wheeling is a prohibitively expensive hobby, I've got other targets to hit, like the fact that it's cracking behind the motor mounts, and like I could potentially plate it and get by for another season, but I don't know if that's the route I even want to go down. Long story short, there are structural problems due to the weight of the rig that I have to fix first.
Well, just cut the front off like Greenleaf did.
Yeah, that's the plan. I bought the tube already.
Yeah, and then just put an LS in it because it's the only sensible thing to do.
Mhm.
So I'm very pro LS. I think I've done over a dozen LS swaps.
Well,
Like, that was my thing. But it's just people are doing them wrong, and I want to address that.
Okay, hit us with it.
You're not supposed to take them apart.
Yes, I agree.
You're supposed to take them out of the rotted truck that you bought it from, or whoever has the rotted truck. You're supposed to maybe hose it off and just plop it in. Don't take anything off.
What about the manifolds? Because I have to swap the manifolds.
Well, you have to take the manifolds off to weld all the broken hardware out. But yeah,
Okay.
but like leave the intake on, leave
Okay.
the valve covers up, just leave it a gross pile of shit.
And slap it in there?
And you just put it in and reflash your stock computer, because unless you're doing a turbo or anything else, just use your factory harness and your factory computer.
We just
Have
talked
fun.
about me being broke, so the turbo idea is out the window.
Right. So
And
just put it in.
the other thing that I will say that is appealing about this at the moment is if the nose is coming off, I can fix the Cherokee problem by not putting a Cherokee radiator back in it. So that's appealing.
Are you gonna put it in the back?
No.
Okay. So what else?
Full loss cooling system.
What were you
Great
saying, Ken?
water.
I said if you don't put the radiator in the back, nothing else fits in the front of a Cherokee besides a Cherokee radiator.
That implies that it's going to stay Cherokee Cherokee width up front.
Oh,
I'm gonna
no,
make the
he's
front
gonna
wheels.
make it
Oh
ugly.
no.
He's gonna make it ugly. I'm pretty sure the Cherokee radiator can cool an LS.
No, they don't like to.
Don't. If you put it in the front, you have a fighting chance, but if you put it in the back, you don't. I had a
Yeah.
Cherokee radiator. Tim had we all have had Cherokee radiators. They do
Long-
okay if you put all the big fancy fans on it and all that stuff, but if it's in the front, it has a fighting chance. In the
Long
rear,
story short, basically what I was looking at doing is I forget what the width is, but we looked into it and I should be able to, with the width of the front frame rails, fit a what was it? It was a 30 by 24.
okay, so like a little bit bigger.
A lot bigger. Factory is supposed to be what was it? No, it was a 30 by 20. Factory is 32 by 13.
Yeah, so you got some surface area.
So I will be massively increasing the surface area on it.
Massively?
Read those numbers back to me, Haas.
32 by 13 versus a 30 by 20. Essentially, you pick up about 25% more cooling surface plus an extra row.
You're right. You're right. It
Um,
was like 416 versus 600
yeah,
cubic
that's
inches or square inches.
That was
that's a
some math. That
decent
was some on the
little,
fly math.
Yeah, I
decent
got a
little
calculator.
pickup.
I'm not that smart.
I was gonna say, wow, we're talking with geniuses over here.
Yeah. So, like, that's a decent little pickup in the amount of cooling area. And I'm not going to have anything up front once the nose comes off to, like, actually interfere. I'm going to have to build brackets. So my thought was use the bottom of the frame rail and just build a bracket across it to mount the radiator to. And inset it down to the bottom of the radiator. Or down to the bottom of the frame rail.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
not
you
that
gotta-
smart.
You better
Are
be
you gonna
getting rid of
still-
your steering.
Yeah, it's going hydro.
Yeah.
The only thing that might cause an issue would be track bar, but I don't see how that's going to have an issue.
Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah, because I cut off the front of my Cherokee too. Like the factory frame rails are gone.
You know, and like I don't claim to be the smartest individual out there, but like it's a lot easier to go. Logan picked up a free 4.8. He knows another guy that has a 4.8 for $250 with wiring harness and computer. Like, you know what I mean? It's not that hard for me to be like, okay, cool, I can make this and justify this. And then we know a guy that can flash the computer. So, like, flash the computer, build motor mounts, all that. And then I personally think that if I have a bone stock 4.8 into an AX15 in my current transfer case setup, it'll probably live.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. I'm planning. Well, Now I'm planning on putting the AX15 behind the 5.3 in the Comanche. It was supposed to be a TR 4050, but they're $4,000 now, and I don't want to spend that.
Yeah, I
Understandable.
mean, I'm not that smart. I don't claim to be that smart, but my thought is that the 4.8 is probably going to eventually be more reliable than the 4.0. But that's not saying next season it's not going to come back out on the 4.0 either. Like, it's entirely possible that it just comes back out on the 4.0 and, like, I'll do the LS the following year. I don't.
I mean, if you're already doing all that front end work and making motor mounts, wouldn't it make sense to make the motor mounts for one engine rather than remake them for a different one?
Yes
this
and
guy's speaking
no.
facts.
Like,
So my thought was
it's gonna be
that I
another
was.
winter of cutting it up and putting a different engine in.
Yeah. My thought was that I already am going to have the 2x3 188 wall. So I was just going to make 2 plateaus to sit my nice brand new Iron Man mounts onto and bolt them down. Because the engine's already basically there, and like I don't love it, and I really don't want to leave the 4-liter in there because I have a diametric hatred of 4-liters. But
It's a big word.
I also do we want to just spill the beans?
What beans?
The beans. Essentially, like the time frame that I had has been shortened due to recent events, and I'm going to go and be scouting out some new properties. So, as a result of these scouting new properties at the start of the season, because once my season gets rolling next year, I have multiple events to go to. I don't have the amount of time that I thought I was going to have, so I'm just trying to make everything work. And
I
I
thought you were
don't
gonna-
have the money.
Yeah, that's fair.
I thought you were gonna drop the
We-
beans on your sex change that you're doing the next year. I thought that's what you're doing.
No, everyone already knows that I'm gay because I drive a Cherokee. There's no defending anything else. I don't even need to go past that because I am so fucking gay for driving a Cherokee that it gave me autism.
Yeah, that's not getting clipped right now. Luke's gay. Okay.
I don't want that to get clipped. That can stay in there. I've been dating Morgan for 8 years now. So, like, I'm secure enough in my sexuality.
So if Cherokees make you autistic, how many have you had?
Oof.
9?
9? Okay, so at 7, I must be at least on the spectrum, right?
Oh, you're getting there. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason that when you pulled up, we were just like, oh, hey, this dude's cool. It was like Spectrum Bros meeting for the first time.
The telekinesis.
Yeah. Dude, I just can't get over the way that you made an entrance because we were just sitting there with me and Curtis. And we're like, yep, all right, that's cool. What's that?
I had such a bad time getting to Good Evening Ranch.
Yeah. Tell us about that. I heard it got a little. warm.
Yeah. It got a little warm a couple occasions, and
A little
Yeah.
warm. I heard more than that.
I mean, yeah, the truck was on fire a couple times.
Minor details.
Minor details. Like I went through one whole fire extinguisher, and yeah. So I had on the way to Good Evening Ranch, there was 2 trailer tires at different times. The truck caught on fire at least a half a dozen times. But the last time I took out all the fiery material and just left it burning on the side of the highway.
So why? What is done to your truck that would cause it to catch on fire? Because I'm assuming it's not stock.
It's not stock, and that's the problem. So I've had that truck for 10 years, and it hasn't been stock for a while. But so it has a second gen swap with a S4 67 turbo.
Fuck, that's a big goddamn turbo, boy.
Well, it's actually smaller than the turbos I took off of it. But
Oh, right, I forgot it was compound.
yeah, it was compounded for like 5 years, 6 years.
Did it ever catch on fire when it was compound?
No.
Then what the fuck are you doing, Tim?
Well, so the downpipe, when you second gen swap it and put a 400 frame turbo on it, there isn't a ton of room for a 4-inch downpipe between that and the firewall. And my dumbass didn't take out the fire retardant material on the firewall that everyone knows and hates.
Mhm.
So when you pull a hill that's 7 miles long in Maryland or whatever route that was,
Yeah, Maryland.
Yeah, definitely
you-
Maryland.
and you don't have an EGT gauge, so you don't know how hot it is, it just catches.
Hmm. Might be time for an EGT gauge.
Well, the
no, because then
gauge-
he'll know how hot it is. He doesn't want to know
Right.
how hot it is.
That's fair. I can respect that.
The gauge is there; it's just not hooked up to anything.
Oh well,
Meh.
yeah,
So it was cool the whole time.
that's good.
Yeah. And like
Okay.
it's done this before, like not to this extent. And my girlfriend Kristen definitely hates me for it because she dreads going in the truck because she just knows it's gonna catch on fire.
She's on fire duty the whole time. Yeah, I can imagine why.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you know when the truck is on fire? Like, what is the tell?
Flames usually.
Where would they come out from? Where, if you're driving on the highway, like, how are you like? Yep, truck's on fire. Pull over.
So you get the first hint at a very distinguishable smell.
Ah.
It's almost palatable. The smell, like you
Mm.
can almost taste it.
Does it taste like fiberglass and a little bit of like oil with a side of Dodge sadness?
Yeah, you can probably describe it as that.
Okay. So yeah,
Very very distinct.
awful
So, like,
smell.
But then when you're towing a trailer through these mountainous, you're just like, well, do I pull over here and then have to catch it on fire again at the next hill? Or do you just see how far you can go until like there's actual flames?
Yeah, maybe it'll extinguish itself. That's a good call. I like that.
If the wind will put it out. We're doing 80 miles an hour. How bad can it be?
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Just stoke the fire. It won't have flames then. It'll just smolder. And smoldering is not as dangerous.
Like I definitely have a scar on my arm from taking the smoldering fire retardant material out of the truck on the highway.
Why didn't you just like use your girlfriend's sweatshirt or something? It would have been safer.
Well, because it was behind, like, it was on the firewall.
Yeah, so he just wrapped your arm in her sweatshirt and then grabbed it.
There was no room. There's an engine there.
Yeah,
okay.
like if
Okay.
you're not familiar, that particular side of the Dodges is a little bit tight.
No, I haven't ventured down the world of diesels yet, so
It's a little tight where the downpipe goes down, which is part of the reason that we're having all this discussion right now.
Yeah.
So slightly off topic, but still on topic question. If you've had that truck for 10 years, is there any chance that you ever went to Thunder in Muncie or the Indiana Diesel Nationals?
So I've been to the Pennsylvania Diesel Nationals. So another side story. I used to be not heavily, but pretty involved in the diesel scene up in New England.
Yep.
For a
Do
few
you know
years.
Crazy Carl?
Crazy Carl? No.
Okay, sorry.
he's crazy. His name's Carl. Hard to forget.
Yeah, it's mostly like New Hampshire. So like, if no one's probably heard of it. Like the 603 Diesel Club, like they put on events and all that stuff. I was involved in it like at the beginning, but it kind of turned into just a bunch of 17-year-old kids with their dad's trucks doing burnouts and drinking beers at the dragway. So I kind of got out of it. But like for a while, me and my friend Mike, he had a pretty done up third gen, and he did truck pulling. So for a few years, we would travel around and go truck pulling. Like, with North Carolina, we've gone to Pennsylvania a few times, just all over the place.
Yeah, I asked about the if you'd been to Thunder in Muncie or the Indy Diesel Nationals, because my dad used to be really involved with that right around like 7 years ago. So I didn't know if you, because we were at Englishtown almost every one of their diesel events. It was awesome.
Yeah, we never made it there. He was. I mean, I don't know. Did they have truck ball? I mean, we tried to get out as much as we could, but 7 years ago, we also didn't have any dollars. Well, I didn't. He had all of them, but he spent them all.
Good man.
Yeah, we went to Rudy's down in North Carolina a couple times. That was fun. Yeah, I started. We're not allowed back in a certain hotel in North Carolina because of me. But
What the fuck did you do?
so the long story short is the hotel got seal coated that weekend because
Oh, just help to improve the seal coat.
Yeah, I started a burnout competition between a bunch of truck dudes and then left and got dinner. And then came back and the place was surrounded by police and all that stuff.
So you
Yeah.
weren't even there. How did you get blamed? It sounds like
I
bullshit
think
to me.
so anyone that was involved with the diesel event is not allowed back.
Oh, we know
But
how that goes.
I
Yes, we'll get into that in a few minutes, I guess.
yeah, so that was single handedly my fault.
So, funny story about that. A good friend of my dad's, and I'm going to say myself, who just very recently passed, but we were out at no, it wasn't Thunder in Muncie. This was the Indiana Diesel Nationals. So, he had a white 24 valve on a brand new set of 35 12.5 KM ones or twos. I think it was right when the twos came out. And some guy goes to him, dualies can't do burnouts. And he had just got done putting like a Detroit locker into the Dana 80 under the truck. And he goes, oh, dualies can't do fucking donuts and burnouts? Okay, cool. Lights them up all the way around the fucking parking lot. Kicks the truck sideways, backs into his parking spot, grabs his beer, goes, yep, no problem here. And that started the whole sequence of events that got my dad and him all kicked out of the hotel for next year. So, fucking awesome shit out there. Those farm boys know how to get down.
The Indiana is different
Yeah, dude.
when it comes to diesel trucks and diesel performance. It's different. You think you go out there with a rowdy setup and you're like, I should have stayed home. Like this isn't even fun anymore. Like I brought up Power Wheels to this event. Just doing the same shit.
So I remember we went back next year. Next year we got a fucking decent little hotel, but it was kicked off to the side. The cops showed up when the group started arriving, and they go, listen, here's the deal. There's an industrial park down here that is not owned it's owned by like an investment firm. If you guys keep the party in the back parking lot down there, we don't care. And there was dudes that had a jet engine strapped in the back of an OBS 7.3 that were like launching that thing across the parking lot. Weirdest shit I have ever seen. People were doing or like had signs on their trucks just parked in the hotel parking lot. Will do repairs for tires. Like that night the cops were there until probably 5 a.m. and I saw my first set of titties that night, so that was a good night.
Hell yeah, good memory.
That's wonderful. Wonderful.
Yep. I will never be able to hear Cypress Hill Rock Superstar without thinking about that.
Think about the titties or the burnouts?
Yeah, all of it, because that all happened at once.
Makes sense.
What a terrible song to remember that by.
Hell no, it's great. That unlocks childhood memories, dude. It doesn't matter how bad the song is. I got to see Farm Girl titties in Indiana to that song on a stripper pole rigged up to a fifth wheel.
It doesn't get better.
I was gonna say, sounds like a party to me. I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah. So, Crazy Carl. The reason I asked about him is he lived in New Hampshire, if I remember right, and he was building triple turbo setups back then.
I say, yeah, triple turbos. That's like a not newer thing, but that wasn't back then. Like compounds were a big thing.
Compounds were a big thing. He had like his own fab setup, and he was making the pipes and everything and selling the kits and whatnot. And I remember the last event that we went to, he had a M90 feeding. I don't know what it was, but I know it was based off of a massive housing S400. I want to say it was like a 104.
Yeah, that's great. Like only an Eaton M90. That thing's
Yeah, I'm saying an M90 because we are talking about something that happened 8 years ago, and I know it was a massive, or to me, it was a supercharger that was shaped like an M90. I'm just guesstimating as to what it was.
It was probably something way cooler than that because you got a M90 on like a 3.8 liter pump.
Either way, though, it was just fucking nuts. And if I remember correctly, the last setup I saw him running was a Pro Charger on that same turbo.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
Diesel stuff is, I mean, it's so much fun, but you think wheeling is expensive?
There's a reason I'm into. The foundational reason I am into wheeling is because diesel stuff is expensive, and I could buy Cherokees for $900.
Yeah.
Fucking love diesel shit, but I don't know. It's too much money to do well.
But it is fun, like going to work in your 1-ton pickup truck on 35s and just pulling on Mustangs and Camaros on your way to work. Like, there's just something about it. Like, this shouldn't be fast.
Yeah.
And then it is.
So let's talk about your anyway, so you were talking about the fires on the way there. Now, do we want to talk about the fire that was put out rapidly while you were there? Like in the squeeze?
Yeah, I remember.
Do you remember, Tim?
I don't remember.
Or the battery?
Oh, I mean, that wasn't that much of a fire.
No, but it was still exciting for the turn of events that how it happened.
Well, I wasn't that excited. You guys were very excited.
All right, never mind. Would
you please tell the story here because
you seem very excited about this.
I had a weekend of fiery events, like another fire. I was just like,
well, I just thought it was absolutely hilarious that your battery moved, caught on fire, or like grounded out, and then there was like a flame, but it like slid into the petcock on your radiator, so it instantly put the fire out. And I just thought that little like it almost what was that like Rube Goldberg machines, or like what are those called? Or like the automatic machines where like
Rube
something
Goldberg.
Rube Gold. It was like kind of like that. It was like ping, 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 and then it was just perfect. Like I just thought that was hilarious.
It was the perfect sequence of events to be a bad time.
Yeah. And then the fact that your lovely girlfriend found the petcock somehow underneath the vehicle, which just still blows my mind to this day. I don't even.
She is the most stubborn person I've ever met.
She weirded me out the fucking first time she ever talked to me because, like, I was.
That is the craziest way I've ever heard you talk about one of our guests' significant other.
I was going into the story.
Yeah, she weirded me out. I don't know.
No, I'm at work and she sent me a message about the cabins, and it was just like out of the blue message request. So like I go to the profile, I don't recognize jack shit on there, and like it was the way that the messages were phrased was very like, what? Like I couldn't tell if it was AI or like. And then like I'm like okay, I'll look into that and call them, okay. And then I meet her in real life and she's the fucking nicest person I've ever met at a wheeling event.
Well, yeah, she takes charge of everything, which is great for me. She just takes charge. But if there's something happening and there's a possibility of not going correctly, like you're all done. Like it's gonna be, she's gonna call you, she's gonna let you know, she's gonna take care of it until that's satisfied, and then she can be okay.
That is the opposite of Graham by the furthest extent possible.
Oh, that's what it was. It was talking about a trailer at Good Evening Ranch.
That was what the message said, or she was talking.
she was talking about renting a trailer. And it was like, hey, so for this XYZ event, what do you know about renting a trailer? And like, just it was a paragraph about this that was just weird, man.
Because they try to put us in the camper out back. Because they double booked our cabin because they got two phone calls at the same time, and they both in the office booked the same cabin for 2 people. So we got bumped out, and they were just gonna let us like shack up in some old but nice. But It's old but it's clean trailer that they had out back somewhere for like it was like $50 less. I'm just like, okay,
I guess.
I guess.
It's a roof over my head, sure.
Yeah, like I prefer a cabin, but yeah, I guess we'll stay in like your 1985 Shasta.
Dude, my favorite thing about her was when she posted on Facebook saying, "Hey, is anybody selling a truck?" It was just a blanket statement, and then like 16 people were like, I'd be interested in selling my truck." And he wrote back, "We are looking for an extremely specific truck." Like, it was just great because it's just like, she's trying, and I respect that.
No, she's trying. She makes
awesome.
my life so much easier on an everyday basis. So it's like I can't complain.
I was dying when Timmy was wigging out, and she's like, "I'm going in the woods to get the biggest leaves I can." And she comes back with leaves that are like twice the size of my hand and hands them to Timmy.
Yeah, she's the
And
greatest.
he's doing his little princess act about the ATF.
The biggest leaves I can find.
Yeah, and she like is fine. Like wants to go in the buggy, wants to be a part of it. Like doesn't have. If I tell her like, "Yep, we're gonna be fine," there's no like hesitation. It's okay. Yep, I trust you. There's no like, "Well, I want to get out for this." It's just you say I'm gonna be fine. I'll be fine.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. I don't have to worry about her. And then like if she wants to go out and do something, I don't have to be like, oh, she wants me back. She wants me to do. Nope. She's just gonna go do her own thing and not care about anything. And that's it.
I am currently struggling at the moment, but we've made some headway. Morgan is finally going wheeling again, and it's with Graham and Curtis.
So she's staying away from Graham is kind of the thing.
She's actually excited to see Graham and have Graham there. So I'm kind of confused, but okay with it.
She's gonna geek out when she meets the other half of him now. It's gonna be like a whole new world for her. Be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. Sorry, Timmy. Didn't mean to cut off your story there.
No worries. I don't even know where we're going.
Sorry, go.
Like we even bought a sliding camper this year because of wheeling, and it's like she's like, no, like we will buy it. Like, okay, like we're just going like we use it when we're not wheeling, but she's like, no, like I'm a part of this. Okay.
Hell yeah!
Oh shit, that's awesome! Hell yeah!
Yeah, so it's like it's nice to have someone that not only like enjoys what like your hobby, but like wants to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome, dude.
So did you actually end up finding the truck you were looking for, or is that still to be determined?
So like there's like 14 of them for sale on Auto Trader, but at this point, like cash is like I spent a lot of cash this summer, like on house things and shit. So it's like the trucks I'm looking at are just way too much money. So I'm probably gonna save up some money over the winter, and try to get a truck payment that's less than $1,000 a month.
Whew. Yeah, I could definitely see that being nice.
Yeah, so it's like I'm looking at trucks that are 70, 75 grand. It's like I don't want to spend this money. So if I have to, I'd like some cash to just put down and try to lower that payment. Because no matter what, it's a shit ton of money that I don't want to spend.
Yeah.
What are you looking at getting?
A 22 F350 with black leather, and a center console.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, that's a big money truck.
Yeah,
6.7.
6.7, and in 2020 they put the 10-speed in, but in 22 they changed the dash and it has the bigger screen. So it's like it's a 1 year only interior. Because in 23 they went to the new body style, which it looks like it has Down syndrome, so I don't want it.
Dude, those 6.7s are nice fucking trucks.
They are.
Yeah, and it's been around since 2011. So like they had the problems in the beginning. Like we've had cabs off of them, and like they've had their problems. But they've been around for so long. They seem to have fixed all the shitty problems. Like they don't chew through turbos every 30,000 miles anymore, and you don't have to replace the heads because they don't work anymore.
That's horrifying. I'm poor, so if I'm looking at any of them, it's going to be a 2012 or a 2013.
You can't buy a Cummins with an automatic, even with the ASN. Like they're junk.
Chevys will rot out before you get to hit 200K.
They're all rotting out. It doesn't matter what. Just pick your favorite interior and go with it. Like they're all shit boxes.
I just like the Ford because it's boring. My Ford is very boring, and I like it.
They're boring. Everyone has one, and like that's why. Like they're cheaper than the Duramax. Sure, they don't ride as good, but like you're still getting all the truck that you want.
To be honest with you, I don't have any complaints about the ride quality, and mine's a 2012. Like, it's nothing fancy, but even with the 6.2, it tows a Cherokee just fine. I don't have that much weight that I'm trying to move, right? Like, my trailer setup weighs 7,400 pounds, 7,500 pounds, depending on what's on it, if I have the spare or not on there, not in the truck.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terribly heavy.
No, a gas job does it. It just can't pass a gas pump. It can pass a second gen.
Yes, you can. You can pass the second gen.
But yeah, you're not pulling hills and passing people in the fast lane.
No, it does do that. It's got 430s and it's about to have 488s. It does that.
All right, fair enough.
It just can't pass a gas pump. Like it is
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. Holy, that is the only
like 4 miles a gallon towing.
Not that bad.
6.
No?
9 to 11.
Oh, I fucking wish. I'd kill for 9 or 11. Holy shit.
The problem with that is that I'm one of those people where, like, I wig out if my gas gauge gets below a quarter.
Quarter is empty. Yeah.
Yes.
You should have seen me on the way to Good Evening Ranch.
Yeah, we were like actually cutting, like, honest to God, cutting it close. Like we were counting the miles, not even miles, like quarter miles.
The gauge had 1 tick left on it for that final hill up before you're at level ground before Good Evening Ranch, like on the main road. And it went very quickly to no ticks left. And I was like, I know there's a gas station up here. We're very close. I only had to fill up once before we left and once right in the middle, and I'm not filling up 15 minutes away from the park. I'd rather be at the final gas station and then fill up. And we did it, but it was very close. Very fucking close.
Yeah, especially on like road trips, a quarter tank is empty. Like, start looking for fuel.
Yeah. And like there's a couple of areas going through Virginia where you're in nothingness. Like, yeah, there's a gas station off the highway, but it's 10 miles off the highway. And like, if you're running low, that ain't kosher.
No, and especially in places like that with a diesel, it's worse because like, oh, you get to that gas station and it's just that it's a gas station.
Yep.
You're like, great. I gotta go back on the highway and try to find this diesel. Or like going through like New Jersey, they're like diesel, like never. We don't have that. And it's just like okay, so like have to make it through New Jersey on what we have.
Jersey's not real.
No, it smells
like
so
Ohio.
bad. New Jersey just smells bad.
So does Ohio. They're both not real. They're both terrible places.
Most
Kyle-
of like the middle of the country is mostly just like, okay, what do you do here?
Yeah. I mean,
said-
Kyle seems to make Ohio look okay, but like,
Who's Kyle?
Hollencrawl, Kyle Slater. I know
Oh,
I'm
yeah, yeah, yeah.
mispronouncing it, but that's done on purpose because he's a good dude and just poking fun. But yeah,
But
great dude.
there's no wheeling out in the middle of the country. You can see until like the earth curves.
Yeah.
It's just corn. You can wheel on corn.
There you go. That's an idea. I don't think it'll go well though. Look at Whistling Diesel lighting his Ferrari on fire.
Yeah. And the rental van.
That's
I think
rough.
Yeah.
I think the rental van catching on fire was a little bit more funnier than like the Ferrari that was supposed to get ruined anyway.
But for you, things catching on fire and then putting them out, you're good at it. So like honestly, wheeling on corn might not be a terrible idea.
Hey,
Yeah,
I have
like-
a question. Have you ever hung out with a guy named Ryan that has a white Bronco? Because you two have a lot of similarities, and I want to see what catches fire when you two get together.
I have not, and I tried to keep my fire experiences to a minimum. It just like I think I fixed the truck now.
Really?
Is all the flame retardant material removed?
Yeah, all the flame retardant materials removed, and I put that shiny gold stuff on the firewall. So it's like it's a fucking race truck.
It's going to be hilarious when
You
the
just-
floorboard catches fire on the inside.
I was gonna say he moved the fire, so now it's reflecting off the gold stuff. It's going to the
I'm
next.
sorry, I'm
fire
not trying to
retardant
be a jackass.
No, it's fine.
I just saw an opportunity there. No, but seriously, Ryan's a great dude, and he's in the area that you guys wheel, so he's a riot, and I want to see what catches fire because both of you guys could probably burn down Ma Bell without meaning to.
Yeah, but the only problem with Mopel is you can't trailer there.
Yeah, you can. What are you talking about?
I mean, you can, but it's not like wicked convenient.
That's fair. I'll give you that. It's not
There's-
convenient, but you can.
And if I'm gonna put the rig on a trailer and drive somewhere,
yeah, you're not going to
Uh,
Mobile.
I'm not going to Mopel.
No,
Okay,
not
dude. When
I'm
I
gonna
come
go-
up, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's like if I'm gonna trailer and I have no destination and just like going for the day, I'm just gonna go to the property that we lease in Wakefield.
That's fair.
Wake.
Because like, yeah,
Mhm.
Wakefield, New Hampshire. The Rockahawks lease. It's like
Oh
60.
yeah. I gotcha. Yep.
Yeah, we lease like 60 acres out there.
You
And
just go
have-
up around there. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we make the rules, so there is no rules. You don't have to listen to anyone.
What?
Hmm.
I know Ayasha and Mikey were inviting us out the end of the year to go and hang out and go check out some of the trails and cut some shit. So we'll have to check it
Yeah.
out. See what's out there.
And then we have the NEA has Grafton. I was just there last weekend cutting a trail, and like that's a big property. That's 550 acres.
Yeah, they were just talking about that at the meeting. They were saying how it's like a shit ton of like there's so much available, but you just have to go and cut it. They were saying, so that's kind
It's
of cool
got a
to hear.
lot of potential.
Yeah, it has a shit ton. Like I only saw a little bit because we just cut a trail. That's all I was basically doing there. But it was to a mine where they used to mine mica. So it's like it's cool. There's like a stream. It's like you're in the middle of the woods, and there's like really old like stuff going on that you would never see, and like you wouldn't even know. You'd come up to it like this was something, but like what the hell was this? This is a big hole in the ground.
That's fucking cool.
We're trying to make like a line that goes through like this big cavernous mine where they mine mica out of.
Oh shit, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick, but it's like you have to get more people up there, and not everyone likes to do work days.
Hmm.
That's kind of been my thing. It's like, and again, I know, it's part of the thing. I get it. Like everybody's already giving me shit for the words that I'm about to say, but like, it's also like, damn, like I just worked all week and I'm gonna pay to drive 2.5 hours to then work. It's like, fuck. Like I don't know, but
It's terrible, especially when like it isn't I wouldn't say it's not organized, but like there isn't like oh, this person owns this land, they want to do this. It's, oh, the NEA leases this, we need more trails.
Yeah, go
Oh,
do something here.
yeah, go do it. But like, there's no direction, but there is like less direction than like we followed trails. Like someone marked it, like went this and like want to go this way, but that person wasn't there that weekend. So it's like, well, did you want to go this way? Did you want to go this way? And it's, I think it would be better if someone just like, I'm in charge of this property. This is what we're doing. And like for the most part, there are a few people like that that's doing grafting.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it just needs more people up there that want to work, because it's not. I mean, it's not going to get done by itself, and it's not. We had 4 people there last weekend. Like we cut a trail, but it sucked with 4 people.
The trail sucked, or doing it sucked?
Doing it sucked. Like we cut a whole trail on a Saturday with 4 people. Like it wasn't a big trail, but like you're still cutting trees, moving trees, pulling branches out of the way, moving rocks. Like it wasn't like the most fun. But if you had 20 people there, you could make quick work of it.
You were moving rocks on a rock crawling trail? Blasphemy.
Yeah. Well, it was also out of a mine. You had all like the discarded material, and it's just a big pile of loose rocks.
Huh.
So it's like you can drive over it, and you're just gonna send rocks down the hill. So like everything's loose and terrible until you drive over it a few times and move all the movable rocks out of the way.
I'm definitely excited to come and check it out, especially from what you guys are just saying too. It seems like it'd be a really good time. So hopefully next year, make some time to go and check that shit out.
Next year? Oh wait, yeah. When do they close it?
The
Might be closed
the
now.
last weekend is this weekend.
Gotcha.
For this
Get on
year.
up there, buddy.
For what?
For the working days. This is the last planned weekend.
Because then it closes off and they rent it out for hunting, I think.
Hunting and then
snowmobiling?
one singular snowmobile trail is what they were saying.
Gotcha.
Hey, all right, I made it out to my first and ever NEA meeting. All right, I said that's pretty dang good. All right, Graham,
Your
you
first one
you
ever.
take it fucking easy over there, bud.
Mhm.
Okay, fucking high and mighty. Jeez.
That's it. We're gonna wheel Wakefield probably till it snows, because that's our property.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
definitely want to get out there too. Definitely want to go check that shit
yeah,
out.
less people have interest of wheeling, like winter wheeling, because it just sucks.
Yeah,
And
you
there's
also.
what's that?
I was gonna say you don't have body panels too, so like that, like then you're putting on snowmobile gear to sit, and like I feel like that'd get chilly quick.
Yeah, it's terrible. And there's oh, there's a grass outside here. And there's a big snowmobile trail that runs right through our property. So it's like if it is snow on the ground, to get trailers up to like our landing area, it's not worth it. To go have a miserable time in the cold, like I'm all set.
Or you could just go to Brookridge or Battlegrounds and just go shred some greens or
Well,
blues.
there's plenty of, like we're setting up a racetrack in Wakefield.
Ooh, hell yeah!
Because some of us like to go fast. We don't all like to go crawling.
That makes sense. I mean, for you guys, especially with like Saint Germain, and then you have oh my god, I'm blanking on Greenleaf's name. God damn it, that's terrible of me. Like you
Josh?
guys, yes. Well, I couldn't think of his whole name, so the fact that I even came up with Greenleaf is
I mean, everyone mostly knows him by Greenleaf, so.
Yeah, no. But yeah, so it's kind of cool that you guys are favoring too that, like, especially being like rockaholics, which is like, slow rock con with your red labels. So it's cool that you guys are putting away a little bit of area for you guys. That's rad.
Well, luckily for me, there's no rocks in the area where I'm going. There's a couple, but like, yeah, like the property is pretty much separated. Like we have the main driveway, and to the right, there's all the rocks and hill climbing and all that stuff. And then to the left, it's kind of like a swampy mess, but there's trails out there and you can go fast. I almost hit a deer, like, with the buggy doing like 25, 30 miles an hour. But it came out of nowhere. I'm ripping down a trail and then there's poof, deer. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, how often do you almost hit a deer in your rock crawler?
Not very often.
No, I
Yeah.
can't say I have.
It's crazy.
Well, if you keep it street legal, I mean, then there's a bigger chance. But you know, you don't want to do
Oh,
that.
yeah. No. Well, no, the Comanche. So I'm building a Comanche too, but that's gonna have license plates.
Oh, so you're saying the girlfriend might have something to drive around in? Huh?
Oh no, because there's gonna be 3 pedals, and she refuses to learn how to drive with 3 pedals.
Lame. That's cool. I get it, but it's lame that she won't learn. She definitely should. You should just put her in it and tell her to figure it out.
Yeah, she would just get out and not do it.
Dang it.
Yeah, she's like very against learning how. Actually, not gonna say very. She did go once with my friend George's Miata to like try to figure it out, and then she came
I feel
back.
like
She
a
was like,
Miata is a bad car to learn in.
No, it's not terrible at all.
"Would you rather that or like an 800 horsepower stick Cummins?"
The second option?
Yeah.
Yeah, to
Honestly,
learn how.
Yeah,
You
just
can't
you don't
stall
even-
it.
I was gonna say you don't even have to press the throttle. You just fucking and then go.
Yeah, but you're not gonna learn. You learn like bad habits doing that.
Fair. Honestly, I will say the easiest vehicle to drive would be a Volkswagen Jetta. Those things are so stupid simple to like. The pedal is like 2 pounds. Like there's barely any effort to it, and they'll grab with 0 throttle.
Have you been in a Miata?
No, actually, I have not.
It's a toy car.
Yep.
It's not real. It's
They're
like
not real.
Ohio.
Right, they're not real. They're for children.
You know what does impress me though is I had a buddy of mine that owned a Miata and he was 6'5", and I for the longest time I'd never seen him drive the car. I'm like, bro, you're not fitting in a fucking Miata. Like you're huge. Turns out that those things like you could fit a pretty tall person in them comfortably. Like the way that the seat's set up and how far away the pedals are, pretty solid. So if you're tall and you can fit in a Miata.
My buddy is Brian. He's I think 6'8". Like he's tall.
Holy shit, that's a tall boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
this is really a run for his money.
he looks over the windshield.
Holy shit.
Like he can't have the roof on because he doesn't fit. Like he looks over the windshield.
Let's hope he never rolls a thing. He'll be taking a scalp off.
Well, he doesn't actually drive it. It's more for it's a comic event because he's so fucking tall.
Let's get
he
him
has to,
sunglasses to drive it so he can see.
right. Like he can't. He doesn't walk through like door frames and stuff.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he's wicked tall.
Something me and Graham were not blessed with. Height.
It looks inconvenient. Like, oh, let me just walk through the bathroom. Like, I'll have to like hunch down to get through the door frame.
Yeah, that sucks. You have to like custom build your doors out so that way you can fit in them. Fuck
Right,
that.
My house has to have cathedral ceilings.
Oh, but it's so expensive to heat though.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. Speaking of houses, we were looking at maybe like renting this house and buying another one. Dude, houses they're more stupid than they used to be.
Oh yeah, not to mention interest rates. Interest rates are
Yeah.
fucking dumb right now. It doesn't even make sense. Like,
They're like
you get
8%.
yeah, with a perfect credit score too, and like a 20% down payment. They're like, yeah, the best we could do right now is like I don't know 8.5%. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? It's like, what? And they're like, well, and that's also on like one of those 7 on whatevers, and like so it could fluctuate between like 3%. 3%? You're telling me this shit could go to 11%? Are you like hell no? I'm sleeping in a box. Like, I'm building a rig so I can sleep in it tomorrow night. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, like the house that I bought in 2015 that we live at now. I don't think we could afford it if I bought it now. And it's just a shitty little ranch with a garage.
Yeah, it's probably $450 nowadays. You could probably get for it.
550, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially if it's newer construction, absolutely, or newer, meaning newer than 1920.
I mean, 1956. But the market is insane. In southern New Hampshire,
Oh baby, yeah. It's Southern New Hampshire, especially. Holy shit.
Yeah, they're putting. I don't know if it's going to hurt the value of the house or help it, but they're putting 800 apartments across the street. Like condo apartments.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't know how that would affect it. It'd be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'll find out because we're not.
Yo,
we're not leaving now. We were going to, but then we were looking at houses that are $800,000. I'm like, honey, can't we can't do that. The
Yeah.
mortgage is like it's like $8,000 a month with interest. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
like that.
fuck that.
Yeah, no, thank you. Like, I want to be able to like breathe or do
Yeah.
anything.
You want to be able to buy a sandwich before you go to work.
Right, like ice cube sandwiches might be on the pricey side of things.
Can't afford the bread anymore. No.
No,
So on that note, yeah, that's one thing that's scaring us a little bit with everything that we've got going on.
Oh yeah. It's
yeah, we talked about it a little bit. Like, New Hampshire's not; it's in the same predicament as Tennessee.
Yeah.
You can't make enough money to support yourself in a year.
She ended up getting a scholarship. I don't think I ended up finishing that conversation with you, but she got a scholarship. So we're stuck here for the next 2.5 years.
Oh yeah, stuck in Tennessee. Oh, what a shame.
It's
I
not
almost-
terrible.
I almost moved to somewhere south, but it didn't
I
work
will
out.
say it's kind of nice not having winters. Like
I
if you're a
hate-
New Englander, we don't have winters.
Yeah.
It's great. We went out. What was it? Last night I was out until 1 a.m. hunting coyotes, and we ended up coming back, and everyone was fucking cold. And I'm like, all right, I'm a little cold, but it's like 40 degrees. It's not
that
the
ain't
worst. I'm
shit.
wearing 2 layers. And they're out there wearing undershirt, overshirt, and not coveralls. One guy was in coveralls. The other guy was wearing a Carhartt.
Coveralls are sick. Don't you ever
Coveralls are, dude. I got no hatred for coveralls. I'm looking at multicam coveralls.
Hell yeah. Are you gonna wear those shirtless next year to Web Wheelers?
It's
Don't
too
tempt
hot
me.
for coveralls.
Oh yeah, it was pretty warm. That's a
Yeah,
fair point,
I
yeah.
did sweat my balls off in my overjorts, so like those aren't going back. They've got my ball sweat on them.
Oh, to burn those things. You ain't getting that out. Gross.
Yeah, no, I was dying a little bit inside of the Jeep at Good Evening Ranch. It got a little toasty.
I gotta get
Yeah.
my shit box back and going. I have AC in my shit.
What?
I don't even know if
Yeah.
you have a rig. You're just here for the moral support. at this
God
point.
damn it. Yeah, jeez.
AC? Like,
Yeah.
street Jeeps don't even have AC.
Yeah, well, it's because it is a street Jeep. It's still got a license plate. What's all?
It also probably drives down the road fairly nice.
It does not. Ever since we did the over the axle track bar, it does not go down the road very well.
What did you screw up that?
So according to Luke, we believe that it's something to do. It's not necessarily to do with the steering length, but the upper control arm length in comparison to the track bar length, because it acts as an upper control. It's like
I think that we're
saying?
getting things a little confused here.
Oh,
I think that
Jesus.
there's an issue with the length difference, if I remember correctly, between the track bar and the drag link.
no. We already confirmed that those are the exact same length at the exact same angle.
So then,
You were talking about how it
caster.
Nope, caster is -6. And we even brought it back to -8 and still didn't change it.
No shit. All right,
Yeah, I'm
then.
telling you, it's fucked. The Jeep's fucked. They need hydro, and then we're just gonna hope that it lipsticked on a pigot.
I mean, that's what's kept my Jeep alive. Is the
Are you going to
First
keep it on
steerable.
the street?
Yes, I do plan on keeping this streetable, so that way I can then have a buggy that's like specifically for like the woods.
Are you going to do like the 45 or 4600 series, like Ultra 4 style, like full hydro steering without full hydro?
No, because that sounds insane.
I'm planning on doing that with the Comanche because I want full hydro to turn 40s, but you still need the whole mechanical steering.
I'm
What
gonna
the
keep it real
fuck?
with you, champ. It sounds like you're barking up a expensive tree for no reason.
No, because you can do hydro assist, but that sucks because you can only steer one way fast. So you just get a manual box and then use the full hydro ram as a tie rod and
What
use
the fuck?
a steering servo off a roundy round car as your orbital. And yeah,
Yeah,
That
that sounds.
like a lot of effort, and I'm lazy. And my full hydro has done 70. off road without any
Your
problems.
Hydro assist.
Hydro assist. I'm sorry. Yeah, my hydro assist has been comfortable at 70. So like,
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's comfortable, but like if you want to turn fast left and right, I guess not good at just that because it turns faster one way than the other.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna go. Like I have a full like hydro assist setup ready to go pretty much. I just need to make lines, which is simple. It's just like I want to keep this thing so that way I can like I don't know, do the class 6 roads like or do the transcontinental road, like something fun with it, and then have the I don't know, there's something fun about driving a shit box and then people like staring at you weird. Or like the other day we pulled into a parts store to get Graham parts, surprise for his shit. And this guy was just like, "Hey, your tire's making a weird noise. It's making a weird noise." And I'm like, "No, that's the." And mind you, this isn't our buddy's Jeep. I'm like, "No, that's just the locker in the back." And I'm like, I'm explaining this to this guy. He has no fucking idea what I'm saying, but I'm just gonna keep going with it. And he was like, "Oh, all right." He's like, "It's broken," and I'm like, "It's not though." But yeah, sure. So funny. So yeah, I like that. I don't know. I think the random conversations with the random dude is just a lot of fun.
it is fun going through Chick-fil-A's parking lot with a welded rear axle and stickies.
Now that's fucking insane. Why did you?
What?
You're gonna scare the poor little Lord's chicken workers.
She was nice.
Chicken burgers.
You're scaring
She
them.
was
She was
nice.
only nice because she was incredibly
Terrified.
intimidated.
I was terrified.
No doors, sticky. Is it like 6 pounds? Crow hop or hopping through the parking lot.
I mean, at least
She's
had a
like,
shirt
"How's your
on."
day going?" Oh, it's going great. I'm driving the Jeep.
See, and like I'll miss that side of it, but I also recognize that like I don't want to continue. And again, everybody on this podcast has heard this a million times, but pretty much the Jeep will stay on the road. We'll just say that.
Yeah, no, that does make sense.
The Jeep will stay in the driveway.
No,
If
Jeeps go anything over a 33-inch tire on a Cherokee. This has to be on a trailer.
It's illegal.
No.
You can't drive that on the road.
No, I mean it's not fun. If you stock axles, the 33, weld the rear, put a 3-inch lift in it, and just party, that's the best Cherokee you can have.
See, but
Not wrong.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I feel like my Dana 30 with the 35s and the 3-link, like it just the way it sits right now, it works really damn well, and it's a lot of fun.
It doesn't do anything right now.
Oh, fuck off! Go talk to the person behind you instead of us for the
You
past
know what?
20 minutes, Graham.
You know what?
Keep
Since
Cherokee
Richie's
simple, and if you want to do anything more, do something else.
Since Richie's not here, I'm gonna make fun of him too. Richie also is in the same goddamn boat, except Cody at least showed up at the Web Wheelers Ball. So I will cut him a
Only
little
after some
slack.
serious convincing, which we've beat
Oh my
in previous
gosh.
podcasts. So
You guys suck.
we'll let it lie.
Hey, I blame Richie too. I'm at least equal opportunity. Notice I'm not shitting on Timmy for not going to the Web
Yeah,
Wheelers
but he has a
Ball.
cultured
Just because he
sperm.
did.
You know, I don't have a cultured sperm to make my excuses when I can't go places. So like, I don't really have a. Yeah.
The cultured sperm excuse is dying with the fact that it's 2 years old now, like this podcast.
He can basically mow the lawn, I'm pretty sure, right? So like
I mean, it's Richie's
now
kid,
it's
so
just
I'd
making-
expect that.
yeah, so now it's saving him money and time.
And labor.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
When you
so-
have Mini-Me, you just give it small, simple tasks and it completes them. It's automation before automation was a thing.
Oh God.
child labor is the automation of the future.
That's what children are for, is labor.
Yes.
Historically speaking, you are
Like I say,
correct.
historically speaking, children are for labor.
Just biologically built into us. It's just like this sucks. We need small hands. Lots of them.
Fucking Logan's kids are gonna know how to turn a fucking wrench by the time that they're 6. They'll be able to pull an AW4 by the time that they're 8.
As long as they can hold a flashlight in the right direction.
No, never gonna happen. That
Oh,
is one thing
no.
that I think is fucked up in the children's programming. It took me 18 years to figure out how to hold a flashlight the right way.
You at least figured it out. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Well, my dad quit beating me after I got to be about the same size he was, and then I figured it out.
Wow, that is wild to say. Holy shit.
That is a joke. My dad's fucking awesome most of the time.
When you're holding
Eh.
the flashlight, right?
Yeah, after he until he figured it out.
No, his biggest problem is he can't stop rambling.
That's where you got it from? Oh, see, I haven't figured out
Yep.
where I figured out how to not shut the fuck up. I don't know. Nobody else is like this in my family. I'm just broken.
You went and hung out at some weird shop in Terryville, and it's contagious.
Must be. Anyways, let's get back to kind of your whole thing. So now, what are you running any current events like with your rig or like planning to?
What do you mean,
Like
racing?
races? Yeah, I don't care about your rock crawling stuff. Races.
No. Like I was thinking about going to New York with a couple people like, next year to do the make believe Ultra Four stuff. That sounds really fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta look
your-
more into it.
Is your rig gonna pass tech?
That's the part I gotta look into.
Like
'Cause I
your
don't-
rig is built like a brick shit house, and I don't say that like as a negative, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be heavy, and I don't know if you did 2-inch.
Right, it's not 2 inch, it's 1.75 inch, so I don't know. That's why it has to be like a sketchy Ultra Four race, but not like a sanctioned Ultra Four race. Like someone, because there's a race up in Mountain Mud Run in Warren. They do like woods races, but it's not like a sanctioned event. So like you can show up with your fucking Cherokee and race. So it might be more like that style.
Yeah,
It's plenty safe. But like for a sanction event, it's probably not up to their specification.
yeah. Because like I looked into it briefly, and I looked at the weight restrictions, and if I ever go to build a buggy, I'm building a buggy to 4800 specs, because my rig just right now, there's no fucking way that I could ever build, or I could ever get it to pass tech.
No, and like obviously this is my first like full chassis rig. Like I will never build one again.
You're gonna buy a chassis?
Buy a chassis and just do it that way.
Makes sense
Like,
to me.
everything goes together. Like it's all planned out on a computer. Like everything fits. You don't have to remove this to remove that to remove this. Like right now, to take the pan off my transmission, I have to take the engine out separately, and then the transmission comes out, just so I can take the pan off. Like that's stupid, and I hate every minute of like the serviceability of what I built. But like I was learning, like I learned a shit ton by doing it that I probably never would have learned by doing any like simple jobs. Like I kind of had to dive right in and figure out like, well, this is dumb, this is stupid, don't do it this way. Like you learn a lot, but you learn mostly of like what not to do the next time.
I mean, at least you learned. That's a plus.
Yeah, and like it still does things, but like the next one will be able to like go to races and like pass tech and like be able to do more with it. Like it's just a wreck wheeler right now, and that's all it will ever be.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it weighs way too much. Like even like a bent fab rig with similar components weighs what, less 4,000 pounds. Weighs 1,000 pounds less than mine.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's like that's cool. I would love to be 1,000 pounds lighter. And
yeah, I'm excited to see how much weight you can actually shave out of that, especially because I'm also going down the same path of trying to shave some weight right now.
Yeah, like it's double frame railed, like underneath. Like I've overbuilt the shit out of it, but like I wouldn't do that again. Like I would just build it to what you need it to, and go from there. But I would have someone else design the cage anyway. The chassis, I should say.
What would you go with for a chassis? Like, actually, like, I know you mentioned a few, but like, what would you definitely go with?
I mean, I like the Ben Fabs. I was looking at the TMRs, but they're too big, boxy, and like desert racing inspired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't do like Berkey's buggies are cool, but they're way too elaborate. So like something. I mean, I'd probably just get a Ben Fab
Yeah.
chassis or something similar along those lines. Like, there's a lot of people doing chassis now because everyone has access to like the CNC plasma, like the dragons and fenders and all that stuff. Like, it's not it's cheaper now to just have a chassis printed out and shipped to your door than buying the material and doing it yourself.
No argument here. I had a chassis.
Yeah,
Uh,
and like
I'm in.
the goat builds are fine, but they just look like someone drew it with a cardboard box.
Hey, I drew that. Not really, but it could
Might
be
as well
me.
then.
Yeah, there's like, but I get it. Like all the pre-fab chassis, like the more straight bars you have, the less money it's going to cost in production, and the easier it's going to go together.
And the
Like,
easier to fix it is.
right? And you're like, oh, I bent this straight tube. Okay, I'll cut the straight tube out and replace it with another straight tube. And and the bouncers are just way too elaborate. Like, like up here, we don't have bouncer places. Like, there's a couple hills. Like, oh, we got the Bounty Hills and the places, but it's not for what we do on a weekend basis. Like, it's not a bouncer is not the thing.
Yeah, it's not really feasible. It makes no sense to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, you could, but like, you're not gonna get the
cool.
full.
Yeah, and then like if you have like the 1200 horsepower supercharged big block, like you're just gonna piss everyone off. Like, we went to the jungle this year, and Cam Utemarks was there. Like, his rig is sick, and it makes a ton of horsepower. It's got those big USD stickies, and the thing fucks. But like, it isn't. I wouldn't want to wheel that all day. You kidding me?
Well, this goes back to the the age thing. You're getting older. Kind of.
Yeah. No, but even still, like, it just doesn't seem like there's like so much more effort. And he wears like you have to wear hearing protection in it. Like you
Holy
have to.
shit, yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, you have to wear earplugs, and like it's not. It runs on race fuel. It's things sick, but it's for hill killing down south, and like to do that on a weekend basis, like, no. Like, we don't do up here in New England. We don't do that much cool shit. Like, we go like rock crawling and like driving through the woods in somebody's land and like seeking out a few rocks.
Can't blame you. I mean, the idea makes sense to me. I think it'd be cool for what it is, but then yeah, like as you said, you'd be literally stuck traveling, I don't know, 18 hours every single time you want to go do something cool with your rig. Like that's just not,
Right.
that's not worth
Like,
it.
oh, I have to go to North Carolina. Like, I can't go. It's not an hour and a half trip somewhere. It's a day trip and hotels and
Yeah, fuck
yeah,
all that. I'm good.
yeah. Not about that life.
No.
Like,
So I live
That's-
in Bouncer Central, and I have zero desire for a bouncer.
yeah, like it's cool, but it's. I think a bouncer and like side by sides are on the same like playing field. Like,
Of
they're
no
fun.
desire.
Well, like I had a side by side. I had license plates on my side by side. It was sick, but I don't think I'd own another one.
I was gonna say the man who lives closest to some of the most fun side by side trails for going fast, and he doesn't want to have a side by side. Interesting take.
Well, you can't go fast. Was
You
40?
can't.
No, the speed limit's on all the trails.
We see with the snowmobiles, we never followed the speed limits. I don't know how crazy they get with them for.
I mean, yeah, you don't have to, but then there's like the size restriction. You can't have a cool side by side up north.
Mm-hmm. That is
You
a
can have
problem.
You can have the lame ones that don't go that fast. But it's not. The side by side is for drinking twisted teas.
Yep.
That's, yeah, that's like they're cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, I owned one, but they're for They're for twisted tea drinking and like partying. You're not, unless you're racing them, you're not doing anything competitive. You're not going to field and forest the side by side. One, they won't let you.
Yeah, they won't let you.
But like even that, anything similar to that, like you're not doing it with a side by side up here. Like it's a different lifestyle.
Yeah. I mean,
You think,
honestly, I think the most fun you can have is either on a track or out in the dunes with these things. Like,
yeah, they're built.
the-
They're
sorry.
built for dunes and like mud racing in Florida.
Yeah. Which honestly doesn't even sound like that much fun. Mud racing when you just skip across the mud a little bit. Hell no. I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, I'm all set with mud. I mean, some of it looks pretty fun, but to build a rig to do that, like I'd rather be a little bit more well rounded and be able to do more things, like maybe not as good, but still be able to do it.
Yeah, I have this theory. I call it like the park cruiser or something like that, but it's like a 115-inch wheelbase, 350, 400 horsepower rig that just kind of goes and like does everything remotely okay.
Yeah, and that's basically what I have now. It's not good at anything. Like it's not wicked good at going fast. It's better than most at going fast, but it's not a slow crawling thing. Like
Dude, I
I'm
fucking
gonna
love going
take it.
fast.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it to mud events. Like it's gonna do everything. It's just not gonna be like terribly good at anything.
You got them big old bog dog trepadors for the mud event.
Yeah, but I mean, I would take those off for the mud. You run over someone's fucking muffler and pop a hole in a $1,200 tire.
Oh yeah, that's a good
That's not
point.
that's not gonna give you any advantage of being sticky when you're just in slime.
That's gonna be terrible. I fucking hate mud though.
Yeah,
Like,
it's awful, but it's a party, and like we're gonna go do it.
you know, I just not gonna happen, dude. As
No.
much as people want to have fun there, that's not my party. I'll go to AOP for that party.
Yeah, but like you have an off weekend, and like no one's going trail riding, no one's going doing shit, but there's a sick mud event like an hour away, and you got nothing going on, and everything's working. And a couple of your buddies was like, "Yeah, fuck it, we'll go hit a mud event."
Still not going. I'll go and play some video games or go hiking.
I mean, yeah, I get it.
I don't know.
It
I mean, we used
doesn't
to do that. We used to do that when we were younger, but I don't know.
My
I'm not saying I'm gonna be like set out to do it. It's gonna be like, hey, let's go. Like a couple people are going. Like, do you want to come? Like, fine, I'll bring the buggy. It's not gonna be like I'm setting out to like go mud racing with it. Like,
You-
if it
I'm
happens,
also-
it happens.
I'm also okay with just being wrong. This could be one of them areas where I'm wrong, but I'm set in my ways, and I had too many bad experiences in the past. So
Yeah, don't go. Like, mud sucks. Like, I hate it, and like cleaning it's gonna be awful.
But fun
like,
is fun.
yeah, fun is fun. It's just different. Like, you can go out with people and you bore some rocks to death every weekend, or you can still go wheeling, but just mud, and it's a different situation.
See, if it was like Pacific Northwest mud, like throughout the trail, I think I would have more fun with it. But I think just a
Yeah.
mud bog, I don't know. It doesn't pique my. I mean, I probably
But if
would. Honestly, I probably would. Where somebody was like, "Hey, fuck it, we're gonna go here, drink some beers, and watch people fucking bounce
know
in the
what?
mud hole and blow their K series up." I'd be like, "Yeah, man, fuck it, let's go."
Yeah, and they have like side by side drag racing. Like nothing's fast because you're in mud, and like they're all K5 Blazers. But I mean, it's gonna be fun to go side by side racing in the mud. Like that
Yeah.
sounds fun.
yeah, fair enough. I
Jeez, were
take
we boring you with your yawn? God, are we just
no.
that bad?
I didn't get home last night until 1 a.m. and I was up very early. So, and then there's been a little bit of other stuff that's been keeping me up, if you will. So,
You got a whole extra hour of sleep on Saturday. There's no excuses.
bro, I worked and I lost sleep that day somehow.
Rip.
Wow.
I was up at 6 a.m. wondering, like, and I was talking with this chick, and like, she was up too, but I didn't think anything weird of it because my alarm said 7, which is about normal for me to wake up on like a normal thing. And she was like, "Why are you awake?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, why am I awake?" She's like, "It's 6 a.m." I'm like, "Oh shit!" I just went back. I'm like, "Look at that. That's cool."
Yeah, I was working and my body's fucked up. So like if it's I fall into this weird rhythm where I can't sleep. Or I can't fall asleep normally if I stay up past a certain point in time. And that's like 10:45 roughly. So like if I'm asleep before 10:45, I'm good. But if I'm up after 10:45, I'm fucked. So I set I set all the clocks in the house to the time that it was going to be in the morning. And then I stayed up playing video games, but my body was like, "Oh, hey. Nope." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. It's 9:45. I'm going to bed." Couldn't fall asleep until like 1 a.m. So I lost sleep that night cuz I fucked up my body's rhythm.
Rip. That sucks.
Yeah. And back to the mud thing, though, I will say that like if I got a phone call from like the trail trash guys that they wanted to go down to 5313, I could maybe be convinced to go down to 5313 and just watch some stupidity go down.
Yeah, it's
But
not. It's stupid fun. It's not.
well, I'm
And you get,
stupid,
and
and
it's a
everything I
different.
do in a rig is fun.
And I don't know if you've noticed this, but like most people that go crawling are fucking weird.
Yes.
So like you get a different walk of life when you go to a mud event because they're also weird, but they're
They're
mostly.
even weirder.
But it's a different breed of people.
This
So
is true.
you get a little break of like the engineers and like the weird people that go rock crawling, like that are like quiet and like reserved and like aren't drunk at like 8 a.m.
See, that's because you're used to New England.
I was gonna say what?
Well, like,
Have you been to AOP?
I have not actually.
All
Yeah,
right. So,
fun.
in all seriousness, I highly recommend that you take a trip to AOP if you ever get the chance. The only thing that I am going to say is that it is a beautiful park with a very strange culture.
Very.
Like
It's
strange, as in like they're making moonshine in the back, or like
It wouldn't surprise me if what started the wildfires that are currently threatening it right now was someone fucking up a moonshine still.
fair enough.
but the moonshine still was on the back of somebody's YJ that was stretched out with 43-inch boggers. Or sorry,
Yeah.
whatever, sexes.
You might see some 43 bog dogs. You might even see some 54 bog dogs rolling through AOP.
Woo, that's a big old car.
So I'll put it like this also. Another weird part about AOP is my Jeep is very small for that park. Like, it's just a big fucking rig park. If you want to go and run anything past the blues, you're on at least 40s. The blacks and reds, you're going to see a lot of 43s. My rig can do blacks there. Some of the reds get fucked. Like Riot Hill, my Jeep has no business on.
Is it like field and forest reds, which are different?
I
It's
think they're their
different.
own style. Yeah, they're different in their own ways. We're like field and forest are reds because the rocks are huge, and then there's holes in between the rocks that'll swallow 3 rigs. And then like here, it's like they're steep, but then you have the minivan size rocks on the steep hill.
Yeah. And like
Sloppy.
AOP's reds are like New England blacks. If you get it nice where like you show up and it's been 2 weeks and no rain, my rig belongs on there and we'll just walk around the park like it's no big deal. However, if the morning dew was a little aggressive that day, get fucked, nerd. You're gonna use every
Literally.
ounce of LS.
It sprinkles for 10 minutes. You're fucked.
I mean,
Like,
I get that. You go to field and forest, it's like almost the same. Like it's a different. If it rained once in a month, it's a different animal than like what was it 3 years ago when it didn't rain for all year and everyone was just walking up everything. And then it
Yeah.
sprinkled once, and everyone floundered like fish.
Yeah, you'll get that. That's
Yeah.
that's the AOP experience. AOP is a summertime park. It's not a wintertime park because in Tennessee, instead of snow, we get rain.
Okay. Yeah, it's rained every single weekend up here. I don't know if you guys experience that.
I'm trying to. Yeah, no, it's pretty much rained. Yeah,
Yeah, it's rained it's like 19 out of the 21 weeks of summer or whatever.
that's why I'm hoping we get fucking killed this winter with snow. I'm so
Why
excited
would
for it.
why would you wish that evil on anyone?
Overtime, baby, and I love the snow. If it's gonna be cold, it might as well be fucking snowing.
I guess.
It might as well look pretty outside and then give us something to do on some greens and blues.
Yeah, fair enough. I just hate it. I hate every minute of it.
Really? What the hell are you doing up here then, man?
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't.
we need to swap.
Well, I was trying to, and then like Kristen was on board, but then we got actually like serious about it. And her mother's in a wheelchair, so like what? So she
Yeah,
has a hard time getting around. And like Kristen's like, I can't leave her. And I'm like, okay, then we'll stay here.
That's fair.
that's
I respect
responsible.
that.
I'm like, that is like the most reasonable thing I've ever heard. So I'm like, yeah, nope, okay, we'll stay here.
Yep. No harm, no foul.
Nope.
So-
Yeah, so
But yeah, so I love the snow, and also like I snowboard, used to snowmobile. So I've kind of just grew up loving the snow, and then now I make way more money than normal working when it snows. So I love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did the snowmobile thing for a while because the guy I used to work for was big into off trail sledding
Hell yeah.
and got me involved, and then realized that every weekend was $1,000.
Yes, that is. It's ridiculous. It really is.
A good weekend, like you didn't break anything, you didn't drive into a tree, like good weekend, $1,000.
Especially if you have like, I don't know what you were running for a sled, but like if it's not a new Ski-Doo E-Tech, you're just drinking fuel the whole entire fucking time. Has to be 93 and or av gas, and then you're spending fucking $5 a gallon. And not to mention, fucking skiing and snowboarding ain't fucking cheap anymore either. Everywhere you go, it's like $90 just to look at the place, and then it's like $40 for a fucking cheeseburger. Don't even think about the beer, because then that's another $20 per bottle. It's like just nothing. God damn it! Everything's getting expensive.
Everything's wicked expensive, and it's all like, how many things can you do?
That
It's
It
like,
used to be a lot more.
yeah, like how many hobbies can you get, and then like not and do any of them? Because like you get to a point where like I want to do everything, so you buy like shitty versions of everything, and you can't do anything because it's all fucking broken in your yard.
Pro tip: if you're into off-roading, night vision is not for you.
well, yes, especially if you
Oh.
don't want the self-illuminating night vision.
Yeah. Was it like 20 grand for the goggles? More than that?
It's a little more than that, but yeah.
So, depending on what you want, a set of PVS 31s is going to run you like 15. A set, like a nice clip-on thermal, you're looking about the same. If you want thermal fusion, you're about 30. And if you want just bog standard, like be able to see out of one eye comfortably and actually get some distance, you're at like 2,000.
What the fuck is the thermal? What the fuck did you say? Something thermal?
Thermal fusion.
What are we making? The fucking Hulk? What the hell is that shit?
So thermal fusion is like a device that clips on and projects a thermal image into the night vision tube, essentially. That's
What?
the watered down version, but yeah.
That sounds wild.
Oh, it's fucking nuts. I got a chance to look through one, and like you can see almost like you can. Not during the day, it's obviously different because it's either grayscale or greenscale. But then any heat signature is displayed with like a wireframe around it.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah,
I'm all set. I don't need all that. What do you use? What are you gonna use those for? Coyote hunting?
Yeah.
See them bastards from 200 meters instead of 5 feet.
Yeah. That ain't a fucking joke either. What you just said might have been a joke, but fuck, dude.
That's real life.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, that's the reason that you'd want them is so that way you go coyote hunting better.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, that's a
Yeah, because
Um,
like you said, coyotes are either way the fuck over there or they're eating you.
Dude, we
Huh.
so we went out last night. We were gonna go coyote hunting, and we started getting some bait. And for bait, we use raccoons because they're a problem. They kill chickens, and the farm that we hunt on is right next to a chicken farm. They also, shockingly enough, will like cause issues with baby cows. So like raccoons are a problem. Yeah, disturb them,
They're
all
so
that shit.
cute though. You just gave us a raccoon fact. That's impressive. Look at you go.
Yeah,
But they're.
Kristen would be upset they're using raccoons because she wants a pet raccoon.
I want a pet raccoon. Actually, I want a pet possum more
So
than a
what? You
raccoon.
could use this baby as bait. You fucking
No.
animal.
No, I love possums. I'm anti-killing possums because
Oh no, not possum. Possum's cool.
Possums are
I-
North America's only marsupial.
they are North
Oh.
America's only marsupial. They can't
We
get
just-
rabies, and they eat ticks.
We just had so many small animal facts that people listening must be going fucking crazy right now. We haven't had those in so long.
So I'm anti-shooting possums. Other people aren't, but they use the raccoons and possums and woodchucks as bait for coyotes. They also use chickens from the chicken farms as bait for coyotes and set up at about 100 yards to 200 yards with the pile of meat in a soybean field.
Huh. That's kind of
Guys
cool. I
hunt
don't know
coyotes
that.
with tannerite like they do with hogs.
I'm not going to go down that road, but I'm just going to say for
Sounds
the majority
illegal.
of it, no. Just due to the fact that like it's an active soybean field, so you don't want to destroy crops.
All right, like everyone's seen those videos where someone down south is like baiting hogs, and then they just click one off, and you can't see the screen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, other interesting fact, but you wouldn't think that hogs would be a problem on a chicken farm? Hogs are a problem on a chicken farm.
Oh, I bet. I mean, hogs are a problem everywhere.
As you say, aren't hogs like really fucking territorial and aggressive as hell?
Yep, but they'll also eat chicken because hogs are
What?
omnivores. They'll eat meat and they eat whatever. They'll like, not to get weird, but like they'll fucking destroy any kind of flesh that you drop in there. It's fucking nuts.
That sounds horrifying. I'm all set.
Yeah, like it's not uncommon if a pig farmer falls for the pig farmer to get eaten.
What?
Yeah,
Holy
Do you think the pig cares?
not at all.
No, probably not. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Pig's just
Oh,
happy.
that's-
He's like, ooh, food.
It's not,
Accidental
oh,
animal
this guy's my friend.
Yeah.
No fucks given.
My friend, he fell.
Yeah, they'll eat everything too. They eat the bones.
That's wild. See, I always knew like, like the crazy old facts of like, if you kill somebody, throw them in a pig farm. But like, I guess it's true. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's fucking very true.
Yeah.
Like they use raccoons and whatever else woodchucks as bait for pigs.
Weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess we don't have to go into any more facts about animals. We just
That's a
murdered
raccoon fact and an animal fact.
Raccoon, pig, possum. We got a lot on that one. It was a bonus episode.
it.
Poor Richie
Yeah.
didn't even show up to listen to it. God damn it.
Does he have a lot of animal facts?
Richie is the animal fact guy.
Really?
Yeah, he gets excited by animals, is what I'll say. So he definitely has a little bit of knowledge when it comes to animals of all sorts.
Yeah,
And-
he's got like a
trees.
little
He's had a lot of
farmstead, if you
run-ins
will.
with critters.
Yes.
I mean, I had to shoot a squirrel this year because it kept stealing our gourds that we had on display on our front porch.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
That'll
So I
happen.
dropped them, and then the pumpkin came out of the tree.
Got your gourd back.
Yep, got it. You're welcome, honey.
I will also say that Southerners get very excited about hunting coyotes.
Really? I mean, I know it's like a big thing up here too, but like, I didn't think it'd be like a massive thing.
Oh no, like plan your weekend around that. Like if we're working on stuff, we might have to knock off working on stuff early so that way we can go and make that happen.
Jeez.
And it's really fun because you get to go and do all the tactical LARPing that I like to do in the woods, hunting coyotes. It's great. We're using radios and shit, talking to people as groups. It's actually really cool.
Huh.
Don't tell me you actually LARP.
Unironically, yeah.
Well,
Like with like the foam noodles and like the stuff that you see on the internet that people.
No, like we're running bow fangs and
Yeah,
whole,
no,
like,
like
tactical
I wouldn't-
LARPing is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Tactical LARPing. So
But
like,
you're not
both-
actually you're not role playing though. You're actually doing it.
yeah, no, I'm making a joke because
Oh, okay.
we're wearing like chest rigs with radios clipped to them in the woods, and like if you have a bunch of coyotes and shit coming up, you will probably end up using 5 to 10 rounds if there's a lot of them. And like
Yeah.
you're not running around with a 10-round magazine in the gun because coyotes, if there's a pack of them and you're with 1 or 2 people, can decide that they don't like you being there.
fair enough.
So yeah, like, and we're shooting suppressed guns at them. So
Yeah.
it's LARPing, but it's not like actually
It's not combat.
yeah. I just call it LARPing because it's fun to make fun of people with that.
Like
And
I said, like I almost had to make fun of you if you went actually like in a field like with your pals and like
Just
bonk
talking
each
on
other
the
with
valve thing.
like and then hitting each other with like pool noodles and shit.
no, we're not going that far.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
He's
though.
got the medieval getup with
Um,
the valve thing.
We were
I'm in
looking
the
at
field over.
Jousting on scooters and shit.
That actually sounds
I
fun
didn't
though.
know that was the thing, but that's gonna be what I'm gonna research tonight.
I don't know if that's real or not. That just came to mind.
Okay. I was fuck,
Because
dude. That's
we-
funny as shit. I'm gonna have to see if there's a video of that.
Well, we joke at work about forklift jousting because we have like carpet bikes for forklifts and VRs and stuff.
Mhm.
And it's like we could definitely joust with this. Like everyone's dead, but like we could definitely joust with this.
Oh, that sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it's like a
Oh my
30,000 a 30,000 pound machine going like 12 miles an hour with a 30-foot thick like steel rod out the front of it. Yeah, you can like ruin some things with them.
Holy shit.
I'm feeling like there's probably going to be some concrete walls that are going to have a few chips, some cinder block walls with some holes.
Yeah, so I work for United Rentals, and like some of our customers do some wild shit that like we only see the after effect. Like things will come in like how I don't even know how they did this. Like this is so fucked up. Like I don't understand how they did this.
There
And,
has
like-
to be something in their contract about maluse, and they definitely did it.
Oh yeah. It's just, but it's like it's part of the fun sometimes. Like something will come in, and there's like little like telltale signs of like what might have happened. And you try to like recreate in your head like what happened, like who was it, and then like you see like oh this ribbon is off a certain type of machine, and like no they definitely hit something blue, so it must have been a genie. Like someone like today our welder came by and like someone or one of the rental liftgate trucks like the welds broke. Like
Oh,
it
no.
started, well the detectives come in, and then the part that hangs down where like the lift gate goes down, there's
Mhm.
a bunch of new blue paint on it. So someone rocked something with the bottom of the lift gate and peeled it open and ripped all the seams that are welded to the truck. Like someone like that hurts. Like someone is in
Yeah.
pain from like that. You ripped a Tommy gate off an F550.
Shit.
Like someone knows about this, and then nope, no, don't know what happened. It's like Someone does. Like there's
Yeah.
someone doesn't feel well right now because of this. And it's like, nope, no, don't know what happened. Okay.
Speaking of genie lifts, it makes me think of what happened at work today. We rented a genie lift setup so that way we can do overhead whatchamacallit, fucking Jesus Christ, lights inside of an auditorium. So we had to rent a genie lift and it's not working because Graham and Luke, I don't know if you know this, but with genie lifts, you have to have all 4 legs and they have to be on the ground for it to work and whatnot. Well, this doesn't really have that. But so we called them. They had an engineer or some dude come out and he was like checking it out. And he's like walking around the thing, just humming and hawing. I'm like, okay, this is supposed to be the repairman right now. And he's doing the same shit I'm doing. And he's just like, and just kicks the shit out of the thing like 3 times. And I'm like, okay, all right, maybe we're getting somewhere. He's like, man, I don't know shit about these things. And I'm like, then what the fuck are you doing here? I'm like, what the? Like, I've been standing with you for an hour now, and you're just kicking the thing going, I don't know. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, so that was part of my day, was just dealing with that. Yeah, fuck it. It's like one of those center post genie lifts, you know, where it's like kind of like it goes like up, just straight up and down. I don't know.
Yeah, a mass lift. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck those things where you can't do like more than 40 pounds out the side of the thing without it flipping over. Like, stupid. Terrible design.
So we had one of those come in. It was terribly wrong. Because we have to calibrate like weights and like sensors and all that stuff. So like to keep it safe, this thing lifted 1,200 pounds. It was rated. Yeah, it was rated for like 250 or like 300 or something like that.
Yeah,
and it lifted 1,200 pounds. We're like, okay. So we called Genie and they're like, yeah, I shouldn't do that. Like, no shit, you shouldn't do this. Like, we turned everything down and the thing just flux everything. Like, what, can you send us something to fix this? Like, oh yeah, like, there's no, like, if it lifts more, it's like really not that much of a problem. I'm like, okay, like, you can lift a truck with this.
Yeah, it's like clearly a sensor is not fucking correct.
Yeah, something is wrong.
Holy shit. Yeah, I hate genie lifts. They freak me out. I'm all set. It is not my vibe.
The scissor lifts in general, I'll take a boom lift over a scissor lift any day.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big fan of fucking boom lifts either, but they're at least stable-ish. You kind of feel like you might survive the fall.
No, you're not. Anything over 45 feet, you're all done.
I got my harness on. Come on, give me a little bit of faith. Jeez.
Yeah, but if it flips over or like goes down, all that harness is a 6-foot extension for you to get fly swatted into the ground.
Captain does go down with his ship, though. You know,
you're getting shit whipped by a fucking 60-inch or a 6-foot lead off a 60-foot boom.
Have you seen that video that's been going around of the guy who got tossed out? And he literally like. The boom flipped backwards and he got tossed out of it, but his lead was just long enough that he landed perfectly on his feet. It was completely fine. Like, he was hanging, but it was enough that he could stand up, unclip himself, and then walk away. Gnarly.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm all set. It wouldn't be me, fuck. I'd be shitting my pants. There'd be a brown spot on the ground after that.
Yeah, we had a customer last year. They drove a 135 foot boom on like a footbridge, a temporary footbridge, and fell into a ravine.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but luckily he wasn't extended all the way out. But like, still, that's a 60,000 pound machine or something like that. That just off a bridge into a ravine.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, but like those are customers. Like they don't know.
Shit.
It's like, yeah, it's a footbridge, and you're driving a 60,000 pound machine off of it.
Yeah, it's like, is this gonna work? Probably not. Are they still gonna do it? Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's wild. But yeah, boom lifts are sketchy over like 120 feet.
Ooh, yeah, you ain't
boom lifts are sketchy. You can just leave it at that. And call it
that's what I'm saying. Hell no.
No. But see, yeah, the biggest one we have in the fleet is 185 feet.
Nope, I'm good. Keep that thing the fuck away from me.
Yeah, I mean, that's sketchy, especially because like to test the envelope and all the safeties, so you have to go all the way up and out, and then boom down at full extension. Which,
What?
Yeah. So that's probably the sketchiest fucking thing. Yeah. So
Holy shit.
you're full out up at your 185 feet out, and then you just boom down, and
And
it's
it's
supposed to.
balanced all the way out that far? Like,
Yeah. It'll
what?
do it. Yeah, I mean it's supposed to like suck you in, like boom in as you come down to keep you in the envelope.
Yep, that
So
makes sense.
So that's what you have to test to make sure it does it.
So it literally feels like you're in your shitbox wheeler, you're doing an endo, and you just have to hope to hit the right fucking, like, slam it into drive as fast as possible so that way it doesn't continue to flip you over.
Except that you can see the next town over from there.
Oh my fucking god, I'm out. I'm done. This is holy shit. See, this is how you can afford the bread with your ice sandwich. I'm not about it.
Yeah, no, it's fucking sketchy. Like, yeah, and no one looks forward to checking those in.
Hell no. Like, hey, I'm going on my lunch break, but this guy here's he's bringing the boom lift back.
Yeah,
Fuck.
luckily my resident, I mean, you call him old, but he's 62 years old. He does most of my really big booms.
Jeez,
So-
you're just the guy who's already got a foot in the grave. You're like, hey, bud, you wanna chance that other foot right now?
But he doesn't mind. He's afraid of nothing. So I was like, all right, like another one of your big booms. He's all right, yeah, I'll be right in it. Fucking animal.
Good for that guy. Holy shit.
He's been doing this for like 30 years or whatever, and he's just like, yeah, nope, doesn't faze me at all. Like, bro, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit.
I envy that guy. I need nuts of steel like that guy.
Well, I think it's just the care. Like, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, it is what it is type of attitude.
I
Like, it's either-
believe the term
either-
would be reckless abandon.
I guess it's just like it's either not my problem or it's not going to be my problem. It's like
That's true. He won't have to finish checking the thing out if it goes
Right.
down. You know?
it's like, okay, just rips the thing, and and so also you can drive them at 185 feet.
What?
Yeah, you can drive, like they move.
That's
I'm
Yeah,
out.
they-
Shut
How
up.
do you drive it from 180 feet in the air?
There's a joystick. You have a joystick.
To drive the truck?
No, it's not a truck. It's a boom lift, you goof.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I was like,
Yeah.
you're driving a boom truck?
Yeah, it's a
Oh, I see now what you were thinking. Okay, that makes way more
Yeah.
sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
like there's
That
no
would be
steering wheel. Yeah, that'd be
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah, you got extra steering wheel and pedals 150 feet in the air.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That sounds
it's just-
even worse.
But like, hit a 2x4, like run over a 2x4, and then you're at a 185 foot lever.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That 2x4
that's gotta
turns
feel
into
pretty-
10 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. It's yeah, it gets your heart racing like nothing. Like rolling and like almost flipping over buggies and all that stuff is nothing compared to going all the way up in there and like just driving or like booming down.
So theoretically, now this is just basing it off of a 2-inch inclination, multiplying that times the lever factor of the boom at 180. I got 370 total inches of movement, which equates out to, after dividing it down by 12, a potential of 30 feet.
30 feet of movement off of the 2x4?
It's a
Yeah.
wild ride.
What? Well,
Yeah,
you have to take in the
that's-
factor. You have to
that's
take in
just-
the factor of the degree of the angle. To be fair, but
Yeah, that was real quick maths here. That was just 2 inches times the pivotal factor.
see, we're talking about the climb though. We haven't even considered the 30-foot potential drop after you go down the 2x4. Oh my god, I'm out, dude.
It's not a drop, it's a sway. That's
Yeah.
like you're moving 30 feet the other
Yeah.
way as you go over this thing.
Yeah, that would be
Well,
up and down back
Yeah.
to neutral.
And you got to remember, this boom lift that's made of solid steel looks like a fishing pole when you're like this.
Mm.
No, I'm out. Call the fire department. I ain't coming down like that.
It looks like you have a 7-pound bass on the end of a fishing pole when this thing's out.
Oh shit!
Hmm.
Yeah, I quit. You ain't getting me up there. Hell no.
So they've
Fat-
got some 35-foot boom lifts at work, and I'm just not a fan. I would rather climb up the sketchy fucking scaffolding and ladders on the side of the building to go to the roof than deal with that.
I'll take a boom lift. At 35
Really?
feet, yeah, there's no chains or anything. It's just a cylinder. Because anything like 65 foot, then you have chains and cables holding you up, not just a hydraulic cylinder.
Yeah, so like I'm good. Like we're perfectly okay. I would rather fly an experimental aviation plane than that. Like yeah.
Oh, yeah, and at 185 feet, there's only cable, like 3/8 steel cable holding you there.
Hmm.
No, I'm
Like,
good.
holding the boom sections out.
Nope.
Like,
Hard pass.
They could break, and you could just slinky yourself in like 6 extension tubes out.
Oh, no, it's getting worse and worse the more you keep explaining it.
Now, do they all collapse in at once, or is it like one tube, and then the momentum from that tube's the next tube?
Well, I guess
And
it depends what cable breaks.
Ooh. Now we're adding some extra fear factor, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm good. Like you don't even know what type of impending demise you have at that point. It's just
You just let Jesus take the cables and
Yeah, you're just along for the ride. Like your brain, you're out. You're just there. You're just a sack of meat at that point.
yeah. What
It's
is it
no
that the
longer your
human
problem.
brain can handle? It's 6 Gs.
No, it has to be way more than that.
I
You
thought
can get
6
60s in a
Gs was the
car.
point where you'd pass out.
Yeah, I think you pass out. I think you pass out like 3 Gs.
Really?
Like 3 Gs sustained. Like you're
Yeah,
talking.
that's a fair point. Yeah. That's a good point. Sustain is a big portion of that.
I mean,
Alright.
you're not gonna.
It is 4 to 5, depending on age, sex, and height. With women being closer to 4 and a tall man being, or I'm sorry, women being closer to 5 and a tall man being closer to 4, due to the extremities and the length the length of the brain away from the heart.
Yeah, that makes
Wow.
sense.
Now we got small animal facts and tall man facts.
Yeah, so my buddy Brian at 6'8" would be fucked.
Bro,
Yeah,
what
he'd
the
probably be shit out of luck at about 3.5 Gs, and the reason is your heart can't pump the blood to your brain at that level of G force.
is this the picture you just sent, Graham? Is this the one that he's referring to?
I don't know. It's a tall one though.
Genie SX13 5XC.
So that's only 135.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck
That's not
off
even
your-
the biggest one.
Oh my god. And
it looks
And this one like levels out too, so you're like up there and then it levels out. That is fucked. I'm done. Nope. Ain't no fucking way. I quit, boss.
you got another 50 feet, bud.
Holy shit. Yeah, no, I'm good. I
you
quit.
can drive these things from that high. You'll be able to see everything except for the pebbles in front of you.
Well, not to be that guy, we're actually not slowing down, but we are coming up on 2 hours and
Yeah.
45 minutes here.
I hear you. I was just thinking the same thing. We have devolved into complete debauchery of lifts and booms.
I mean, it's something different.
Yeah, people love it.
I didn't realize there was this level of terror in boom lifts.
This whole
I'm not-
podcast has been a mixture of something different.
Like, I'm not afraid of heights, but that thing, based on how we've described it here for the past 10 minutes, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you could. You might be able to get me in one once, but maybe not twice.
Well, if you want to look it up, it's a JLG 1850 SJ.
I think I was looking at pictures of that one. I saw a JLG in my picture.
JLG 1850.
I was just looking for one with
Yeah.
like that had good.
SJ.
It showed the
SJ.
scale.
So
this thing's big though. The base of that thing is fucking girthy.
Oh yeah,
I
she's
would hope
great.
so.
I want to see pictures.
So, Tim,
Yeah.
any questions for us?
Well, we talked about things that we couldn't talk about earlier, so I won't ask that. Like where we're going next year.
We don't know.
Yeah,
To be determined.
to
I
be
mean-
determined indeed.
We got plenty of time.
Hmm.
We do.
Damn, I gotta check that one out.
Okay,
I think that's a
Alright.
render though. It doesn't even
You
look
think
real.
it's a render?
Unless,
Oh,
it might be real. I don't know.
No, that looks like high angle with a big zoom lens.
Hmm.
that's terrible. I'm all set.
It doesn't put it in like it's high, but the way it's looking just doesn't put it fully in I mean, I guess you could see a lot of stories in those buildings. You're like,
No, I'm just like good.
Yeah. No, I'm
Like-
good.
You know, I've got more respect for you now for doing that as part of your job. I got one that's not related. What's the craziest thing that's came back into the shop?
Like fucked up wise.
Yeah, fucked up
up-wise?
wise.
I mean, our most fucked up things are rough terrain scissors, but that's like not like a single. It's hard to put a finger on like a single thing because it's usually just like something doesn't run, like the engine exploded, or I mean, they bent booms before, like boom sections, like they'll just bend them because they hit something. That's usually a pretty fucked up situation. Or like when a boom lift does come back and all the cables are bound up at the back and it doesn't work because all the cables broke and someone had a bad time.
Jeez.
We've had booms come back where someone's hit the power lines and cooked themselves. Like that's pretty bad.
Hooked themselves?
Yeah, like you hit the power lines.
Oh.
Yeah, and you're grounded through a machine, and you
Right.
fire yourself.
Oh yeah, no,
That's
that
some
doesn't.
nightmare fuel, just like the pig facts. So this episode's hit its limit on nightmare fuel for this episode.
Oh, we could probably
Yeah.
get worse.
Yeah, so
I mean, we can, but like, I
Yeah,
don't want to.
it doesn't. You talk about things that smell bad early in the show.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Electrification smells terrible.
electrification of human matter is.
That sounds terrible.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just say that. I'm just gonna say that.
Out of words.
I'm just gonna say nothing at all.
That says a lot. Cody, your
Yes.
question.
My question, the tire question?
Yeah, you gonna hit him with it, or we're just gonna
fuck
let
it.
that
We
slide?
we can let that rock through. What's your favorite DOT tire, and what's the worst DOT tire for off-road use?
The worst I would have to say is the Iron Man MTs.
Those are
That's a
pretty
new
bad.
one.
Those are pretty bad.
They're bad. I had them on my Dodge because they were like cheap. They were like $150 a piece, and the front didn't turn when it rained.
That's
That
that's
would
really
be bad.
Surprised.
Like it just plowed. Like you turn the wheel and you just went straight.
Yeah, it makes driving in the rain a sketchy endeavor.
When the
Right.
tires don't do the tire do, they're pretty useless.
Yeah, and like you'd get stuck on wet grass, and they were worse.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they're awful. But best DOT, like are you talking mud terrain, all around?
Whatever the best off-road tire that is a DOT.
See, I think I'm unfair, or I went right to stickies. I didn't put DOTs on anything.
You what? You said you
I
had
thought you had
Cherokees on tons.
DOTs on the
Yeah.
Cherokee.
Yeah, but they were so I had like MTRs and like some other and Swampers and like other bullshit tires, but nothing like worth even mentioning.
Yeah, but which one of those was the best that you felt was like, All right, I'd tell somebody to buy these.
I mean, the MTRs were nice for on road.
I guess
no.
if you get a good batch.
Yeah, I mean, like I wasn't doing crazy shit with them either. Like they were on street legal rates, like that were actually street legal.
Well, yeah, this little segment is for the street legal people who are thinking of buying new tires, and they're like, all right, this guy says this, and if we add them up enough, everybody knows not to buy Patagonias, and you could think about MTRs.
Yeah, and like Cooper STTs are one of those tires where people either absolutely love them or say that they're the worst thing since ever.
Yeah,
Right.
Sliced bread.
And
Keith
this,
was-
Before it was sliced.
it's hard to pick out like the best because like they're all not all, but like most of your front runners, they're all relatively the same.
That's fair.
Like the Nittos, the Coopers, like all the big names in like your aggressive all terrains, like that. I mean, they're so similar now. They all basically make the same tire. It's like pick your favorite color and go with it.
I like green.
I like turtles. You got a point. But
Yep, I'm not gonna fault that at all.
Yeah, like there's nothing like no one I don't think makes like this tire is so much better than the other ones. Like, they're all
General Grabbers, General Grabber, the X3s. It's fine though.
X3s.
They're real good at sitting in driveways, I hear.
You're such a
I,
God
no,
damn it.
I have a set of X3s on my Dodge right now.
And how do they work? You like them?
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're quiet on the road. They do all right.
They're quiet on the road.
Compared
Yours?
to, like,
My
compared to a
ATs,
lot of things.
my ATs, the fucking General Grabber ATs are the loudest things ever. The MTs are even worse. I mean, that's true. Yeah, you put it next to a fucking iRock. Yeah, of course it's gonna be quieter.
They're quieter than my Nittos, and they're quieter than the fucking Stickies.
What? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not that bad.
I don't know. My ATs from them are not quiet, and they're honestly pretty shit in the snow. If I'm being honest, in the rain they're not bad, in the dirt they're not bad. But
Yeah, you know what's funny is the BFG ATs I had better luck with in the snow than I
I don't
did
like
with
those
the
tires.
general version.
ATs? Oh yeah, well they were dirt cheap at the time. To be fair, they were load E, and they were like $150 something bucks per. So it was like,
Yeah.
right, yeah, and they were from my tire people, so I wouldn't go with them again. I'd go with like a fucking
I really
Um,
like the Cooper AT3s.
Cooper AT
And-
makes a great tire. The Toyo Open Countries are a fantastic snow
Yeah.
and like on-road tire.
But like
I'm
all
not
these tires
sold.
are very similar.
I'm not sold on these Falcons though.
Which ones? Your Falcon ATs? Falcon
Yeah.
ATs? I
The
honestly,
Wild Beaks.
yeah. On the road, they're it's like any other tire. The only thing that I noticed with those was last year in the snow. We got some snow, not a ton of snow, but there was some. I don't have a front drive shaft in my truck, even though it is four-wheel drive capable, and I didn't need it. Those things didn't get stuck in the snow. I never had a problem. I never lost traction or anything like that. So I think snow and rain, they're better than my BFGs, but that's not saying much. The BFG ATs I had on the other truck before I had this one, those things were dog shit.
I said, and like,
They do good
Yeah.
burnouts though.
yeah, they're wicked soft, but they're not like terribly good.
No, not terribly good at particularly anything. Just like me at planning events apparently. Ayo.
Well, no, you
Right.
planned it. It's just you can't do that again.
Make a new plan.
Make a new plan.
Yeah, well, we'll make a new plan. So other question for you before we actually go and wind this down now that you're back. What parks have you wanted to go and see?
I say basically Tennessee. So AOP. I'd like to go to Windrock. I haven't really left most of New England to go.
I
there.
will Harlan also should be on that list.
Yeah.
I'm not like particularly a huge fan of Harlan, but Harlan is breathtaking.
It's got some
And
cool shit.
yeah,
Yeah, and
It-
I'm all good for like a good scenic weekend too. Like it
I mean,
doesn't
it's
like
got some hard
you have
shit.
to do the most hardcore wheeling ever.
yeah, it's got a
No,
lot of
shit.
hard shit too. Don't get me wrong on that. It's just
But-
there's certain things that I think could be better.
Yeah, like if I'm gonna travel and like bring the camper and Kristen's gonna come, like it isn't gonna be like, all right, first day, let's hit the hardest, most terrible things and see if we can break it. Like I'd
Mhm.
rather do a whole weekend, like do some hard stuff, but not set out to like claim like, oh, I did every hard thing ever at this park.
Yeah,
Never
if
need to go
you're
back.
if you go to Harlan, I think it's the Powerline Trail, has a wickedly cool view.
Well, it's not a power line trail. The power line just runs on the mountain, and then it
I
goes
thought it
to
was
the next
called
mountain.
Powerline Trail.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't remember the trail names. I was just riding with Curtis at that point. But, yeah, we've got pictures of that. The power line, like just on one mountain top to another mountain top with nothing in between, just wires, just snaking this. It's not really a valley, but whatever you want to call like the dip in between the mountain ridges, like
I think
just
that's,
super cool.
I think by definition that is a valid.
Oh, okay. So in between the valley, uh, just super cool. Very
The low
scenic.
part between two mountains.
Yeah, the low part between two mountains. Well, it was still like kind of on the mountain edge. I don't know, just between the peak, the ridges. It was between the ridges, valley in between, mountain valley, as
Isn't
opposed
that
to
a
a
park?
not mountain valley. Mountain Valley? I don't know, probably.
No, that was a club. Now that I'm thinking about it, that was a club way, way back in the day. Mountain Valley Off Road. I have their bumper sticker on my toolbox. Now that I think about it. Sorry, but back to that. Yeah, Harlan's going to be just for the views. Harlan is sick. AOP's worth the drive just for AOP itself. It's another beautiful park. I will eventually get myself dragged into going to Windrock at this point, so I will give you feedback on Windrock at some point.
Yeah, it seems like like you have to. I mean, you don't have to go to Windrock, but like eventually you're gonna go to Windrock.
Yeah, eventually I'm just gonna end up at Windrock. It's inevitable, and watch me love it after talking so much shit. But hey, whatever.
Yeah, I think you're just stubborn.
Yeah, it's like
If you're
huge,
gonna
but, like,
accuse me of anything, being stubborn is definitely something to do or to accuse me of. Nah.
yeah, but you have to have the rig to be able to like, oh, this next minutes away.
Yeah.
I
Well, he doesn't
don't
live
have
that far
rig.
away.
Is that about
Yeah.
me? Oh, I thought you
Yeah, we're talking
shit
about
on
you.
me.
You don't live that far from Windrock. You can just drive your Jeep there.
Also,
Oh yeah, I got this.
your rig doesn't have massive reliability problems. I mean, we don't know now.
I was gonna say it might now. We don't know.
Like my rig was having where I couldn't make it through a weekend for 2 years.
Oh, now
Yeah.
you fixed it. It can do it.
Yeah, it's great.
Only way to know is to try.
But I think that at this point we're safe to start wrapping things up. Anyone got anything
Yeah.
else?
Oh no.
You just did a big old robot.
We can't hear a word you're saying, man.
Yeah. No,
Yep.
it's 20, 20,
Tim,
I can't
Tim, buddy, we can't hear you.
you
have this in
you
my
caught
house.
a case of the robot. Yeah, I heard no service at my house.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Luke, take it away.
Well, Tim, it's been great having you on. And for today's inspirational quote leaving the podcast,
Buy a yard civic.
If you don't have a yard Civic, it's cheaper than a tractor. And just keep in mind that communication, it's always better to be upfront and direct, because if you aren't, someone can craft a narrative in their head off of the information that they have, and it might not be accurate.